Oh, it's time for everybody's favorite foursome, the Talk of the Town Unfiltered, with Showtime, Mr. Talk of the Town, Rich Girl, D. Marie, and DJ Green, bringing you the real, the raw, and the ratchet. Now let's get on with the show. What's popping? What it look like? What it be like? What it is, though? Welcome to the latest and greatest edition of the Talk of the Town Unfiltered. Of course, you know me and Showtime, Mr. Talk of the Town. I got the gang with me, whole gang up in here. I'm going to let them go ahead and shout themselves out, introduce themselves, starting with the queen of all things ratchet and real and raw. She goes by the name of Rich Girl, or Jizzle. What's popping?
What's popping? Happy Thursday, everybody. And if you're tuning in on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely. You're already up there. Just click that
Absolutely.
button.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe to us. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Hit that red button so you can get in everything that we got going on, so you can know everything that we got popping. Subscribe to that YouTube channel right now if you haven't done so already. Also up in this thing, DJ Green. DJ Green, what's shaking though?
Challenge, ready to get the show started.
All right.
Not much.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Glad you could be here. And of course, my sweet soul
baby girl,
sister, Miss Miss I don't even know what we should call her. Miss Shea Butter Baby. Her mic is on mute. She don't even know it.
Her mic on mute. And she doing all that performance.
I was going in, y'all.
She put on a whole Jill Scott concert and her mic was on mute. D. Marie, what's good with it?
Hey y'all, what's up? Happy Thursday, good people. How we feeling?
Thank you for blessing us with your presence, Queen.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. What I was saying when y'all couldn't hear me. I said, Green, how was your birthday?
Oh yeah,
that was great. I had a really good time. You had a really good time.
We saw some pictures on
63,
Facebook.
63 right now, right, Green? You're 63?
61.
61.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, I mean,
right.
They say black don't crack, so I got to give it to you. For a man, 61.
That's what they say.
Unless you do crack, then you might crack.
Unless you do crack, right.
Then you will crack.
Right. So this is a real special show. So this is the 9th episode. Can y'all believe this is episode 9? Man, this joint with my fam. So this is episode 9. We got my man Anthony Geezy Gonzalez, former manager of the Clipse. He's going to be joining us. Before we get to Geezy, there's a couple of things that's going on in the industry. I was looking on the Talk of the Town's Instagram page, and I found out that Tory Lanez has apparently shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot.
Say what now?
So
come again,
dance, nigga, dance.
Right, I was thinking more like Harlem Nights when they shot on Della Reese's pinky toe. Yeah.
Is that what they're saying? Really? That he shot her in the foot?
Yes, twice.
On purpose?
I think he's going to get away with it because number one, she's not cooperating, and number two, he could easily say that it was an accident. So
how can you accidentally shoot someone in the foot twice?
It can be an accident.
Bang. Like
if she say he did it on purpose, she's not cooperating.
She's not cooperating at all.
So how do we know that is what occurred? Are you just
Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm just telling you what the report said. I'm just telling you what
I need proof.
You need proof. I get it. I'm just telling you what the report said.
You know how I roll. The
report say that Tory Lanez busted his gun twice and tried to take Megan Thee Stallion feet off. That's what the report said.
Not take her feet off.
That's what he tried to do. So I don't make these rules. I'm just here to report the news.
So before they got pulled over, he shot her twice.
That's what.
Or he had already shot her twice, and they were like on the way to the hospital.
Yeah. So I thought he shot her because he was in the car, right?
They were in the car. Together. It was her.
Right.
Did he call the cops? Did he call the cops, or they got pulled over for something else?
They were getting pulled over for something else.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then they made her get out of the car. As she got out of the car, she's stepping gingerly backwards to the police.
Dripping blood, mind you.
Blood dripping from her feet.
Right.
Tory Lanez bust off.
They was high like
hey, Say allegedly.
Allegedly, okay. Right. The funniest thing I saw, somebody said it ain't a hot girl summer, it's actually a shot girl summer.
No.
I saw that on Facebook.
Well, listen, you don't need no feet to be a hot girl. She still got them knees, so we good. We in business,
right. Her knees work just very fine.
Long as they ain't take out them knees, is that what you said? Long as they take out them knees,
for the dancing, because she dances, for the dancing.
Right.
You need your toes and your foot for balance. Like your knees can't do nothing without your toes
right.
and your foot.
I want you to try it tonight and tell me.
That sounds like a whole different show.
Something's up with this because how did his gun even be in his hand is saying a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
right.
I
think Tory Lanez was probably coked out of his mind, and there was probably some sort of an argument.
Is he on the drugs?
He has to. I'm not.
But you know what? They've been hanging out a lot lately.
Right.
Even with Kylie Jenner.
So
yeah. So they've been
are they dating or?
Could be. They've been together a lot lately.
Right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch that unfold. Something else that's going to unfold is Versus. Of course, Swiss Beats and Timbaland announced earlier this week that the next Versus is going to be a battle of the dogs. DMX versus Snoop Dogg. Now,
East Coast dog, West Coast dog.
East Coast dog, West Coast dog, Pitbull, German Shepherd. I'm interested in hearing how this plays out. Who do y'all think will win this battle?
Snoop Dogg by a landslide.
That's what I say, Green. Believe it or not, that's what I say.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with Green, but hey,
you should be agreeing with that Yankee fitted on right now. That's a shame.
Right, you're not going to go with DMX, RG?
Right.
I mean, I like DMX, I really do, but Snoop.
I think Snoop's catalog is so vast. And I think that DMX went through that period of time where he wasn't really able to find a hit.
No music.
And I think Snoop gonna smoke him. I really.
Matter of fact, isn't the rules? It's 20 songs versus 20 songs every time, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's X got 20 joints.
He can just play
how's it going down.
It's 20 records. I'm on 20 good records.
Yeah, I mean, because you can include features also. So
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right, he's good then.
If that's the case, then he's great. He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's certain records that I think X got that's gonna probably stand out more than others. But if we're looking at 20 songs based on Snoop's catalog,
it's not even close.
Yes. His features when he played like Beautiful, when he played like Gin and Juice, when he played Dropping Like It's Hot, like that whole era.
Snoop don't even need to use no features.
Right. Snoop definitely got.
That's true.
He definitely got. So all the earnings that Snoop is going.
So is it even fair for them to be together? Like if he's gonna smoke them like that?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Not really.
Don't get me. I think it's fair because DMX has.
You're not supposed to pair him with somebody you just know gonna get smoked. Like
right, you're right.
But remember, DMX wanted to go against Jay-Z.
Who
DMX wanted to battle Jay.
Say who?
Smokes crack.
DMX. He wanted to battle Sean Carter.
Smoke crack.
He smokes crack.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't do that anymore.
He smoked
crack.
When did he say I want to battle Jay-Z?
This was a couple months ago.
He was smoking crack a couple months ago.
He just think he's good. Look at T.I.
Right.
T.I. think he could beat Jay-Z.
T.I. He could beat Jay-Z.
T.I. he take Molly. I don't think he smoked crack, but didn't they say he took Molly? He got caught buying Molly's, right?
Right. Him and Tiny got caught.
That's a hard drug. That'll fuck your brain up.
Tell me about it.
All right, so I guess that's it for the latest and greatest in entertainment news. On the show, as I said earlier, on the show we got a special guest. This is a special edition of Talk of the Town Unfiltered. And of course, as folks that come from the 757, as folks who come from the Hampton Roads, Tidewater area, it's important to us to kind of tell stories and let people have this platform that represent the part of the town that we come from in the area and the era that we come from, which was, that's early 2000s era was a really dope time to be in the 757. I mean, when you say what a time to be alive, like there's a lot of stories that can be told about the era that this gentleman comes from. So a lot of people know Anthony Geezy Gonzalez. He was the manager of the Clipse. He was the owner and founder of Soul Provider Entertainment. Did a lot of things, but he also in 2009 went to prison and was sentenced to a very long stretch in prison. Came home recently and he has a story to tell. So we wanted to bring Geezy on the show to let him tell his story, to let him talk about some things. And we're gonna ask him some questions. If y'all got questions for him, feel free to lay it out in the comments. So I'm gonna bring him in right now. Welcome to the Talk of Town Unfiltered, Mr. Anthony Geezy Gonzalez. Geezy, what up though?
Yeah.
Good to see you, brother.
Yo.
Green, what up? What up, Rich Girl? Emery, what's up?
Good to see you, sir. What's good with you?
Chilling, man. Laying low. Just got in like 3 o'clock this morning from work. Hauling vehicles around the world.
Yeah.
Geezy, did you just hear what we were talking about with the verses? Who do you have on the verses? DMX or Snoop? Who's your pick?
Snoop.
Right. You don't
want to think about it? You don't want to,
right? You don't want to even deliberate a little bit.
Snoop catalog is just too long. It's just too crazy. Like once DMX come in and play what y'all niggas want, after that right there,
that's it.
It's over.
We done.
What about the other verses? Have you paid attention to anything else? Have you watched them? Okay, talk to us. What was your favorite?
Well, you know me, reggae. The reggae one was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I'm a reggae fan at the end of the day.
RG was telling us the reggae was the best one. It was literally hands down the best one.
And the reggae one.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was the first one where everyone was together, where they were battling together on the same stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no,
that put me in the mind of back in the day at the blue light and stuff like that.
Yeah, tropics.
About tropics and all that, So
that's that 60 and up crowd.
Don't try.
Just because you ain't gray, I already know you.
Yeah, they started naming clubs from the 757 I ain't never even heard of before. Tropics.
Tropics.
It would have spot.
Right, I ain't never even heard of them before. That was around the time of the Ponderosa and all that. Was that popping back then?
Yeah, Ponderosa, Casablanca, and all that. All them was popping in.
Yeah,
well, so Rich Girl had an ID when she was 15.
Right.
No, I did not. I think I just started hitting Shadows. I think I came out when Shadows was popping.
Well, you definitely named 2 clubs. You definitely named 2 clubs that I never heard of before. So what are you talking about? Blue Light. I never heard of Blue Light in my life.
Those were Jamaican clubs. Those were the Jamaican clubs out there.
And you went there before, right?
Yeah. Hey.
Right. Okay. Were they in the beach? Were they in Norfolk? Where were they?
In Norfolk.
They were Norfolk. Okay. All right. See, I've never heard before. So let's get to this interview. We could
probably do a whole show on like back in the day with just Geezy and Rich Girl talking about,
right,
all the things.
Yeah. So let's talk to Geezy, man. Let's we all got questions. I know the town got questions. So like we said, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Talk of the Town Unfiltered. If you're checking in on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this joint. It's gonna be a real heavy interview. It's gonna be real dope. So make sure you share it on your timeline. Make sure you let everybody know about it because Geezy doesn't do a lot of interviews, but I wanted to get him on the show so we can talk to him about just some of the things.
I didn't want to do this one.
He didn't want to do it.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Honestly though, like I was trying to wait because I'm trying to put this book out like next month, probably about a month and a half. So I said I was going to wait until that comes up. So I won't do no interviews. So that like a lot of people hit me wanting me to do it, but once Showtime hit me though, I can't deny.
I appreciate it.
And that just means we're gonna have a part 2 then. So okay, great.
Right.
D Marie's our booking agent. She handles all our bookings. So
always working.
Right.
I love about the kid. Always working.
So
Green, let's get into man.
Say what else?
What's good, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
So let's get into it.
I already told him I ain't gonna be asking a whole bunch of questions, but go ahead.
Yeah, you gonna put it out there like that, right?
Hey, look. No, you gonna ask no question. You just gonna hit me on the side and ask me a question.
Yeah.
Make sure you read that question over the
right.
Right. That's how you do. That's how you do the home team.
Right.
So let's get into the interview though. So Geezy, let's talk to us a little bit. So I want to know a little bit about your history and about who you are, because we hear a lot about you, but we don't know a lot necessarily about where you come from and what you were doing prior to getting into the music industry. So talk to us a little bit about who you were, like who was Anthony Gonzalez before meeting the Clipse? Like what were you into? What were you like? What were the people who went to school, what you say about you? Just like, who were you?
Well, I'm gonna say, you know, I always been an entrepreneur, man. You know, I started off the porch early with business. You know, I was like 16, 17, and, you know, throwing ideas around in my head on what I wanted to do. But I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. Mm-hmm. So, like, one of the guys in my neighborhood, a guy named Lavelle, he used to cut my hair in the back of his where he used to live at. So as he cutting my hair, I'm sitting here like, yo, we can make a lot of money getting a barbershop. So by time like a year or two after that, I end up getting me a barbershop and hair salon. I'm like I said, I'm like 17. And then I branched on and had a clothing store over there by Military Circle called Gigi's. So, you know, so my mind was just always into business, you know, even before I started, you know, really hustling. So Derry Dare actually came later, but, you know, as far as business wise, I always been business minded.
So you know? did you have any aspirations of like getting into the music industry back in those days?
Well, like it was a group of like 7 of us who used to be around, you know, the hood and just like rapping, singing under the light pole and stuff like that when I was on
singing under the light pole.
Singing under the light pole. Banging on the green thing. Drinking Mad Dog and Wally Wally and
man,
yeah.
I don't know how old he is, but he must be real old. Drinking under the light pole.
Sound like cool and old. Light pole and drinking Mad Dog.
And then one of my childhood friends, a guy by the name of Ron, he the one who actually started us with rapping. So he's the one who used to make us all rap, and I used to try to rap, and I'm rapping, I'm stuttering and everything. I'm saying like, yo, I don't think this for me. I don't think I could be no rapper, but yeah, we definitely used to do that. We actually used to make little CDs and all that stuff, but I wasn't thinking really about being serious in it until you know, I had wanted, as far as with the music side, it was a guy from my neighborhood named Chance the Rapper, and he was rapping, so that would make me even want to say, well, shoot, I can be a manager, you know. So that would, you know, when I went left in that.
Was this the same time?
Chance the Rapper?
Huh?
They called him Chance the Rapper back then?
Well, his name was Chance. His name was Chance the MC. His name was Chance, though.
Oh, okay.
Chance. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's saying Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
was this the same time that Timbaland was making mixtapes? Was this like the DJ Timmy Tim era?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's around that time. But like I said, I wasn't even thinking about no music though. I was thinking about businesses, not working for nobody, you know, on the corner. Mm-hmm. You know, but at that time, my mind frame was get me a business to hide what I was doing. You know, so it's different from now. But back then it was like you had to have a job. So I'm like, well, I can sell drugs, but at the same time I can say that I got a business and that's where all my money coming from. Mm-hmm. You know, so I really wasn't really working it, but the people who I had in place, they really, you know, I was employing them, but it was like, I really wasn't thinking about their money.
So you weren't really into the businesses that you were starting?
You know, not at first. No, not at all.
So it was just like a front then. It was like just a cover pretty much. Like
that's all it was. It was just a cover.
So you were a businessman. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. So you were saying you were a businessman, but you were also in the streets. How did that kind of transition into you coming from Bayside and then meeting the Clipse who were from Bridal Creek at the time?
Well, like what I used to do, I used to like when I had the clothing store, I was going to New York to go get my clothes. So as I'm going up there to go get the clothes, that's when that other world opened up, when I knew I can grab some drugs from there at a cheaper price and bring it back to Virginia. You know, because, you know, it was always New York guys always coming down here with drugs. And I'm like, well, they coming down here, it must be cheaper up there. So if I can get clothes up there cheaper, I'm like, let me check and see what the drugs is. So I had an uncle. So my uncle, he Panamanian. He got deported back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I had started going to New York, and he turned me on to the Dominican guys them on the corner in Harlem. So next thing you know, I'm bringing clothes back, but I'm bringing something else back with them clothes.
Right.
You know. So in the mix of that, another one of my childhood friends, a guy by the name of Tony Crumble, he was actually my cook, and so he really grew up with like Pharrell and Chad and all them. So you know, one thing led to another, and that's how I ended up getting into that.
RG, you got a question?
Oh yeah. So management wasn't nothing you were really into because you was in the streets. So it's like, why did you even decide to want to be the Clipse manager if you were in the street?
Well, like, with the honest truth, I didn't decide it. It was like I just wanted to just for real just be a part of that whole lifestyle and to actually be around it and to be around the rappers and all that. So when the guy Tony took me to the studio, it was more so me just trying to put Chance in that position. So, you know, so I know if he did get into that position, I'll be around it, you know.
Right.
So I'm thinking at the time, as long as I'm around it, I will figure out some way to get money. So it really wasn't about being the manager or anything like that. But when it came about, it was a situation of me just starting to run with them. And I was going to be their road manager, actually. So just going on the road with them. Because, you know, at the time, I was like one of the livest guys out there who, like, as far as partying and stuff, I'm going to turn up. You know, so they know I'm going in the club or wherever we at, I'm going to make it a movie.
Trying to make a title for you. We going to make you the road manager. We just trying to give you anything just so you can be a part of what we do.
But then, honestly, it was like a thing of then again, hide my money, you know.
Oh, right.
With all us making money, you know, So it was a thing of, yo, we can help you clean some of that money up since you're looking out for us on this other side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to now bring you in, get you some legit money to clean that money up. You know what I'm saying? As far as being the road manager. Mm-hmm. But this what happened. It was a conflict of interest with their manager having to run the label. So that's how I ended up becoming their manager. So it was the thing of like when I first signed on, it was the thing of saying we can make you our manager, even though we know you don't know, but we're gonna learn it, but you can learn it in the process. So with me learning in the process, you know, it was the thing of saying we ain't gonna be in the streets no more. This is what you gotta focus on. So I ended up learning as you know, we all learned as we went.
So what was that learning curve like coming from the streets? Because, you know, the streets and the music industry are very, they're similar, right? They're different in a lot of senses, but they're similar in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So what was that learning curve like for you coming into the music industry fresh off? I'm assuming that you never had a 9-to-5, right? Have you ever had a job, Jesus?
Well, actually, I have. I used to work at like places like Po Folks and actually I started working at
what the hell is Po Folks? Where are you from? We're not from 757. Where you from?
Because it was a 757.
Called Po Folks?
You never heard of that?
Called Po Folks.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but
I didn't get out much because I
started at the Woodstock program. They had a thing called the Woodstock program that they was putting kids inside these school systems working as custodians. Mm-hmm. I was like 14, and my father, you know, he been a custodian for like 41 years. So I actually got assigned to work at the school I was ready to attend, which is Bayside Junior. So that's how I started, and then I ended up working at Red Lobster, and I worked for like another little company, whatever. But like I said, I was just doing it because my mom done made me.
Right.
But you know, I can't wait to get home to go run back to the corner. Right. But as far as the music wise, though, it was the thing of they had to have somebody who they trust, who they knew that if you could be in charge of all this money, you're not going to steal from us.
All right.
So they already knew that
because you had money.
Wasn't my, you know, because I had money. So that was the whole thing was, he got money. He ain't gonna take from us. He can make sure that we're actually good.
Right.
So
was management money the same as street money? Did you make money, as much money as you made in the street managing them?
My first year as their manager, I made $350,000
as manager.
Good money.
You said what now?
$350,000.
That was the management money.
That's good bread.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How much? One more time.
350 bands.
So I got Rich Girl Entertainment going on. Anybody out there trying to get signed? You rap, sing, tap dance,
whatever you want to do.
I'm your girl.
Yeah, right.
I'll be the booking agent.
Yeah. See, but I had that mind for but what I did was that didn't just come from just the 10% that I was getting for being their manager. I thought outside the box because y'all remember I used taxing. What did you say, Green?
You was taxing. Huh? You was taxing on top of the price.
No.
Yeah, you probably was.
No.
You made 350. You was doing something. Go ahead.
Actually, what I did. No. So listen. So as y'all know, I used to throw parties and stuff. I used to throw like shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I went and I started booking them. I became their booking company too on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting people exclusive rights to booking them, all these places that we was going to, I was meeting. Like for instance, say we go to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just gonna stay in the hotel. I'm gonna get with the DJ, and at the time I was smoking weed. So I get with the DJ. I'm like, yo, who got the weed around here? Knowing that the street guy got the weed. So he'll call whoever it is. I get with them and I tell them, yo, y'all come hang with us tonight, man. Whatever. So they'll come hang with us. And now I'm getting the contact. So I'm getting their contacts. Mm-hmm. So as I'm getting their contact, it was a thing of me telling them, listen, if ever you want to do a show, just contact me and I'm going to give y'all, the show for the low. So I get 10% of the show money too. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, so like fast forward, when I wanted to start a tour or anything, I already had all the street dudes from every single state. So that's how I ended up doing. So I was making half the money off the shows.
So so that kind of leads me to my question about Soul Provider. So that booking shows for the Clipse is what opened up the door for you to start doing business as what we now know as Soul Provider Entertainment. I was doing the show before then. You was doing shows before Soul Provider, before Soul Provider Entertainment. Yeah. So walk us through Soul Provider, because if you're from the 757, especially from our era, then Soul Provider Entertainment provided a lot of great events, shows, concerts, parties. Walk us through that part of your journey a little bit if you can.
Well, my first show was like Rich Girl said, she went to Shadows. My first show was at Shadows. Mm-hmm. We had I did Teddy Riley, Timberland, and Pharrell. That was the first show that I ever did.
What year was that?
I don't know when
it was a walkthrough, probably, right? It was a walkthrough, right?
Yeah, it was a walkthrough. Yeah. It was a walkthrough. But man, I don't remember what year was that. Okay. Do you know Rich Girl?
No.
Probably 99 or 2000.
Right.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, something like that. So then after I did that, so after I did that, it came the Beach House. It was the girl Ashley. Mm-hmm. Ashley was running the Beach House for the guy. I think his name was Kendall. So so I went to her and I said, listen, I'm trying to start doing shows and parties and stuff. So she was like, okay, I can give you Thursday nights. So she ended up giving me Thursday nights. So when she gave me that, that's when I was bringing in like people like Jules Santana and like Clipse and on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So I went from doing that to Grooves, to Flamingos, from Flamingos to Club Groove. Then after that, that's when I ended up getting with the guy from the Nova. So the Nova gave me all the exclusive rights to every rap show that came in Virginia. And that's the first time I'm the first one that bought Young Jeezy. Yeah. So, I'm the first one that bought Young Jeezy to Virginia. Mm-hmm. So, I bought him, The Game, Nipsey. The first time Nipsey came, I bought him to the Nova. Before anybody even knew who Nipsey was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was reading something last night, and Soul Provider also had other artists outside of the Clipse that I forgot about. I forgot that Roscoe P. Coltrane was under the Soul Provider umbrella. Ab Lava was under the Soul Provider umbrella. You had D Folks under the Sole Provider umbrella.
So you were managing all of those people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I think that part alone, you know, it kind of speaks to just like that hustler spirit and how you were able to kind of hop out of the streets and hop into the music industry. Now, there came a point in time when you found yourself back in the streets, right? So you're managing the Clipse.
Yeah.
Music is moving a little bit slow. Albums aren't necessarily being released. Of course, the Clipse first album, Lord Willing, drops, and that's a Lord Willing went gold. Is that correct?
Platinum.
Went platinum.
Went platinum. Lord Willing went platinum. Okay, I'm sorry. Lord Willing went platinum. Second album drops. Right. Second album drops. But then after that, things start to slow down a little bit. Label politics and things like that, and you find yourself back in the streets.
Yeah. What, yeah, man? I'm not gonna lie. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what did it feel like for you to have to step away from the music industry, which was 100% clean money? Like you said, you made $375 your first year, 100% clean money, to have to go back and start risking everything again for this street money. Like, how did that transition happen, and how did it feel for you to have to even go back and do that?
Man, like, you know, first let me tell you, it was always rumored that I never stopped hustling, which was a lie. You know, like I said, I stopped hustling once we signed the deal, and then when I hopped back in, I think it was probably like 05 or something like that. But my bills was like about between $30,000 and $40,000 a month, because I'm also taking care of a lot of people. Yeah, I'm taking care of a lot of people. I'm talking about a lot of people. So as it dried up, I'm sitting there like, yo, what I'm gonna do? I'm like all them street people who I was doing shows with, they like, yo, we can't bring you out here no more. Y'all ain't got no song on the radio. We'll lose out on money. So I'm like, all right, I get it. So I got to hop back in, and at the time, I'm going broke. When I say broke, it's like I'm talking about I'm going broke. But when I call broke, it was like every month is going down. I saw myself not lasting 6 more months, and I got a house out Riverwalk.
Right.
I'm getting a little bit of the book, but I'm gonna give y'all this. So I'm staying out Riverwalk. So at the time, I made an investment at the house in Riverwalk. It was like I paid like $300,000. I had bought a foreclosure. The house was worth $500. So I wasn't even in there a year. So I have to go and tell my wife. I had to go tell her. I said, listen, I need to do something. I said, I need to sell this house. So she like, sell the house. So she like, yeah. So what we gonna do? We sell the house. I said, well, we gonna move back with your mama. You know, and she looking at me like, move back with your mama. I'm like, yeah.
What you on?
You so about your mind. Mama, no.
Yeah, because if not, we're gonna be permanently staying with your mama. So I'm like, yo, so I end up selling the house. I ended up selling the house for $475,000. I sold the house for $475,000. They gave me a $30,000 penalty for selling the house within a year. Because capital gain. I don't know if y'all know about estate. Capital gain. Yeah. Oh, I know you know. Yeah. So I sold the house. They took $30,000. So now I got like about $1.45 or something like that.
Probably less.
You already know what I'm gonna do with that $1.45. You know what I'm saying? I got $1.45 and plus a little bit extra that I already had. So now I got to go back to the streets. But I'm sitting here like it's crazy. I mean, I felt funny. I felt real funny because I had to do it, but I had to do what I had to do. You know, I mean, and the game was like kind of the same at the time, but I mean, it wasn't where I wanted to be. But so some things didn't change.
But your empire grew. But your empire grew the second time around, like really grew, because you were like in Miami, so you were like it was way better the second time around.
Yeah.
Because see, you gotta understand, like when I left the drug game, I had like 250,000 at the time. I went from 16, 17, like I said, I started on the corner selling like 2 for $20. I don't know if y'all know the street term 2 for $20, but like
no, we would not know that. We don't know that, Tony. We don't know.
But anyway, I took off and had 250,000 before before the music. So I had that light put up. So now when I'm starting this game, before then I was only probably buying like 5 keys at the most, before I left.
Only,
so now transforming into this new world, now it's like 50 keys. So the whole new ball game.
And at that time, I can't get my words out. At that time, they were going for how much?
When you I don't know what else was getting it for. I don't know what nobody else was getting it for. But probably the street value at the time was probably about 24 if you knew somebody. If you knew somebody, 23. But I was getting it for 17.
Gosh almighty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, RG.
Yeah.
So were you over being a manager at this time? Like, I don't even want to deal with that. I'm over that music shit. Like, this street life is where it's at.
Honestly, I ain't want no parts of the music game for real. Like, it was like they was working on their album, on their last, the last album before I got locked up, and they was working on it in Miami. And I'm sitting here like I actually just bought a Ocean View like crib, and I had the Bentley sitting out there. I'm like, music. I'm like 350,000. I make like I don't know. I'm like, but yeah, I ain't want nothing to do with music for real, But I think they end up knowing that, and I think it was the thing of too that they was actually trying to put people in place so I can go ahead and do what I'm going to do, because I was, down the truth, I was real reckless. I was from how I am now to how I think now. Like, I'm so humble when it comes to certain stuff now. Like, I wouldn't dare even want to go back in that life. But at the time, I was so cocky and I thought I was God's gift to the world. Like, I'm glad that it happened to me. Like, I'm glad that I got locked up and they took that whole pressure of that whole thing, because, I was living reckless.
Was there a sense of disappointment? Was there a sense of disappointment, Geezy, when the guys found out that you were back in the street? Because we all know that Malice has been heavily religion focused, throughout the course of his career for the most part. There's always been sprinkles of religion and sprinkles of God in his raps. And I know you and T were really, really tight. Was there a sense of disappointment from them when they found out that you were back in the streets?
I'm gonna tell you this right here, right? And I'm gonna leave that question at this. Do you really think they thought I wasn't in the streets?
That part.
Because the town, honestly,
that was for that look, that was for that other interview.
Right. But the town.
Do you really think being in 757, who didn't know I was selling drugs?
Well, if you have a house in Miami with a Bentley park, then I would definitely question your occupation.
I'm not gonna just blindly think it just appeared out of nowhere.
Right. Okay. So walk us through that time period. So you decide to put everything music related because things are moving slow. The work is coming in. But you still are doing sole provider stuff. Like, you still want to walk away from the recording side of things, but you're still you're opening a club and you do all of these things that still have to do with the industry to a degree, but just not necessarily the recording side of the industry. And I know you made a lot of partnerships or relationships, I should say, when you were in the music industry. Did it feel like you were in danger at that time? Right? Because, like, I know that you never up until when you got arrested, you had never been in any real trouble. Did it ever feel like, oh man, like it's getting too hot for me, I might want to fall back and just chill? Did you ever get that hunch in those early days, like when you first came back?
Man, one, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I was stressed out. I was like so stressed out because it was so much pressure. It was just so much pressure of everybody coming at me and just me having to take care of so many people. And then on top of that, it's like once you start, it's like it's so addictive that's like you can't stop. Especially when you're taking care of this person, that person, and it's like they depending on you to actually, come through. And it got to the point that I said to myself, I said, yo, like, I'm going to get picked up. I had a feeling I was going to get picked up. But me thinking, though, honest truth, I'm thinking that me getting picked up and not having a record, it was going to be a slap on the wrist. Mm-hmm. You know, because I got 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. You know, but they had other plans. They had other plans for it.
So yeah, let's talk about you getting picked up. Let's talk about that. So how did you find out that they were looking for you? How did that come about?
So let me take you back. So before everybody started getting arrested, I was me and a cousin of mine, we was I was getting stuff from Panama. I was getting stuff from Panama also on the low. I thought it was on the low. So like I would bring it in like once a year because you only could, do it every so often because at the time, like keys in Panama was going for like $2,500 a key. So so the way I had to do it, which I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to go pick it up, and me and my cousin in the car. So as I'm riding to go past where I'm picking it up at, we go make a U-turn down the street. So as we turning around, it was a car sitting on the left-hand side of the street. And as I'm looking, the guy in the car was a policeman who was in my neighborhood when I was on the corner, when I was like 16, 17.
Right.
But he ain't in the police car. He's in the regular car. So I'm looking at him, and then as I look at him and I'm driving past him, I say to my cousin, I said, yo, we going to jail. He said, what you mean? Because I heard that the policeman he turned on DEA agent. So
the policeman like, in your neighborhood.
They coming to get it. Well, not in my neighborhood, but where I was getting the stuff sent to from Panama. So he was on to where I was getting the stuff sent to that I was getting from Panama. But
okay.
Yeah, so when I saw him, I automatically knew, yo, we going to jail. The feds is on me. So when that happened, it was like probably about a good week later, everybody was getting followed. Everybody was like, yo, man, such follow me, such follow me. So then I realized that I must have like a tracking device in my car because everywhere I went, I kept seeing the same people. So I knew that it was coming. So I ended up one day going to my crib in Miami. So I parked my car at airport in Richmond and I flew to Miami. So when I flew to Miami, like during that weekend, I ended up finding out everybody was getting picked up.
And so you were in Miami when everybody was back at home getting picked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what did you do?
What did I do? So me and my cousin who was staying with me out there, I ended up getting a room down on South Beach because I had a feeling that they knew where I was.
Where you live.
Yeah, you knew you
Miami. Like
time was about to run out. You knew time was about to run out.
So in my mind, So in my mind is saying, listen, don't go hide. If I'm going to hide in plain view. So I said, I know that they're not going to be looking for me on South Beach.
So you went on the beach.
Getting a room on South Beach. So I went on the beach. So I'm sitting on the beach and Twitter had just came out. So I'm on Twitter at the time too, or whatever. But as I'm on Twitter, people are sending me the indictment that was online already. I'm sitting there.
I remember those days. Yeah, it was circulating in them streets now. It was out there.
Yeah. It was like a movie in itself. So I'm reading the indictment. As I'm reading the indictment, it's like literally telling me the people who are actually telling on me. And it's so crazy that come to find out that, which I ain't gonna name no names, but it's crazy to say though, as I'm looking at it, it was like I had like 64 people ready to testify against me, and 30 of them was on the street already. It was on the street. They weren't in jail. Like they won't go into jail.
64 people.
64 people.
So at that time, you didn't really know who to trust. I mean, what was going on with you? Because I would have been all over the place freaking out.
Tell me this: did you even know all 64 of them?
No, some of them was no. Listen, one of the lies. Look, Green. One of the lies was told, right? Like, I never bought my Bentley to Virginia. Somebody actually said they saw me riding down Virginia Beach Boulevard in my Bentley, and I'm looking at people like, what?
So, but what would that information do to you?
I want to go back to DeMarie's question though. So, did you know? How did you know who to trust? Like, how did you even? What did you feel about like the level of trust that you had for the people who were in your circle?
What I mean, it's so crazy because the people in my circle got picked up with some of them got picked up with me. So it wasn't the thing about trusting the people in my circle, right? Because this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. What gets me, like, certain people was lying. See, it's so crazy because couldn't nobody come and get no drugs from me. So you didn't get no drugs from me, like, unless it was like in 2000. The only people who was getting drugs from me is the people who got picked up with me. So they was lying. People was lying, saying that they getting it from me because you won't get it from me. Like, you had to get it from somebody under, who was in the family. So that's where it all came from, where like all the lies and stuff came from.
So they were getting lesser time by telling on you.
Yeah. That's how it worked. That's how it worked.
Okay, so you're in Miami, you're reading the indictment, and like you said, 30 something of those people were out on the streets, right? And because I know, and you getting picked up, Geezy, I'm gonna keep it a buck. You getting picked up is one of those moments where I remember exactly where I was when I found out, right? All of us, we were doing the Talk of the Town morning show. We had just finished the show, and somebody actually sent me a text, I believe, that said Geezy just got picked up and they're kicking people's doors in. And then they sent me a copy of the indictment. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I can only imagine what that felt like, being in your shoes, knowing that the home front is crumbling, right? Your home front is crumbling, and you're in Miami thinking that you can kind of navigate your way through this. But I gotta tell you, man, I don't know. I would have broke down. Like, I don't know how I would have reacted. So
it won't no navigating through it. Like, crumbling. Yeah. Right.
So what were your emotions like? Because are you thinking about your family at that time? Are you just thinking about everybody that they got picked up, that you can that how are they gonna hold up, or how they like what were your emotions like at that time, just as a man going through that?
Well, at the time, I'm not really understanding the game far as my family. Like, I'm looking at it like my family ain't did nothing. So what, like, they can't come after them. That's what I'm saying to myself, but far as coming back, I was making my exit. I was already in Florida. So I was thinking about dipping. So I was trying to get some, trying to get to some change that I had put up so I can go ahead and like dip. Like, right. Cuba or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what you were going to do?
Yeah, right. I was gone. I was gone.
Right.
I was gone.
But what about your family?
About whatever it was.
What about your family?
What about them?
Well,
whoa.
You got to understand, he's reading the indictment saying he's going to jail for RICO. Yes, I'm getting out of here if possible. You know what I'm saying?
But what about your family?
Yeah.
They'll be hype.
What about them?
But the whole thing is that you were protecting them. The reason you were in jail and all that, you were protecting them. So why wouldn't you be protecting them at that point?
Listen what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. My mind frame, I didn't know at the time that they could even pick my family up or say anything about my family because they didn't have anything to do with anything. Okay. So I'm looking at it like my family is good. Cool. They cool. Like, they ain't gonna get into trouble. So I'm gone, and I try to figure out whatever it is later. I can call them and, have somebody take or however it was going to be. Mm-hmm. But that's where it came to a halt at.
Okay.
Because when I called my lawyer, because now fast forward, as I'm trying to escape, I'm calling my cousin who's, she's a lawyer. So, but this happens. She's a divorce lawyer, but she's in that lawyer field. So she ended up contacting Woody Woodward, like Michael Vick and Allen Iverson, all their lawyers. Okay. So in the mix of me talking to him, he tells me, he say, listen, you need to turn yourself in. So I'm like, well, what I'm looking at? He said, no, bump all that what you're looking at. He said, your wife, your sister, your mother, and your aunt. They really go pick them up too also. And he read what they was trying to charge them with. So now that changed the whole scenario of me leaving.
Right.
So now I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on now. I said, hold on now. I can't go nowhere. You know, so that's when he tells me. So I say, yo, well, I'm gonna turn myself in Monday. It's like Friday. I said, I'm turning myself in Monday. I'm gonna party on the script before I go in.
Right.
You know, but I still
I know you was
know the last bit of your money, blow it.
You ain't never partied
but the crazy thing is, I'm still thinking I will get about 10 years. Y'all don't understand me. I'm like, I'm gonna get about 10 years as long as I go and say, this is what I'm thinking. As long as I go and say it was me, they're gonna let them go. Give me 10 years because they ain't got no record. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a bond. Like I'm writing this whole thing out.
Where did you get the number 10 from? Where did you get 10 years from?
That's the regular conspiracy.
He just made it up. He made it up.
That's a typical conspiracy charge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a typical conspiracy charge.
Okay.
So I'm not knowing that, you know, all the, you know, because it's so crazy too. As I'm reading the indictment more and more, I'm realizing that the Connect, who I was getting work from, his name is actually mentioned in the indictment.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay.
As a
but
cooperator.
I'm still thinking, okay, you know, yeah, as a cooperator. So, but like to take you back some. Go ahead. You about to say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. But to take you back a little bit before they started following us, I had my cousin check. You know, I don't want to reveal too much because it's actually in the book. But let's say I end up finding out that the Connect had got picked up, and when my cousin found out he got picked up, I was like, oh, okay, you know. So the honest truth, at the time, I wasn't doing anything within that, like probably about 6-7 months, because the Connect was gone. So I'm still like, okay, he gone, but all right, cool. So when I'm getting the indictment and I see his name and he's telling, like it clearly say, such and such said how me going to Phoenix and spending like $500,000. So I'm sitting there like, dang. All right, but still my mind frame is saying, all right, cool. I still want to go get 10 years. He to Connect, like he should get life. Like, you know what I mean? I want to go get 10 years. But they looking at it like, well, nah, hold on. He's the Connect, but you the Connect of people in Virginia. Right. So they're looking at it like I'm the king because they're looking at it like he's making me bigger than, you know, bigger than life.
You would have plugged
so he's the one who actually is lying and lying on like my mom and people like that. But they already knew. What they saying is, you know, so they're actually saying this right here. If we give him 10 years, we're not going to get nothing from him. Like he's not going to cooperate. He ain't going to do anything. If we don't put his mom involved, he going to do 10 years and he going, you know what I mean? Like, so what they had to do is enhance everything by everybody saying what they got from me and what the Connect saying he gave me and all that. It took my drug weight to a whole new category. So that what made me go from, even though my level of my criminal background, they actually take that and bring that across, which is nothing. But then the drug weight comes all the way over here to a whole nother category. So now that moves and it brings down, and they was actually supposed to give me life. If I had a criminal background, I would have had life in prison.
Life, like that's just what they give you. Whoa.
Yeah. So I think there's it's something important in there that I want to talk about, that I've heard you talk about before, that I think it's important that you touch on. So they pick you up, and you also find out that they had your phone tapped, right?
Yeah, they have a phone tap.
Right. They had your phone tap, but the streets had implicated you to a degree in in a murder, right? So to speak, like your name was coming up in a murder. And I don't know if you want to go too deep into that. But I can speak on that because I know that's what I heard, right? I know I heard that, Geezy had something to do with this particular murder. But when they pick you up, they actually, the homicide detective said what to you?
Okay, so what happened with that? They ended up coming. They was coming to get me anyway because of the connect. Ended up getting snatched. Mm-hmm. But the thing with they ended up coming to get me faster because what it was, they was trying to build a big indictment with a guy named Big Daddy, a guy named Jobo, and a guy named Dave. They was trying to pick all four of us up all together, even though we all didn't deal with each other. Mm-hmm. So that's what they was trying to do. But they ended up having to come get me faster because of the situation that happened at my nightclub. So,
which was the murder.
To touch a little bit on it, like I said, with the murder, I actually explain it in my book. I go into like detail, but I just give you a little bit. So what physically happened was a fight had broke out at my club with some guys from my neighborhood. So they ended up fighting this other guy, whatever, this and that. So at the end of the night, I'm talking to them outside of the club. So as I'm talking to them outside of the club, I'm telling them basically like, every time I invite y'all down here to my club, y'all always end up fighting. But which I'm not mad because I was the same way when I was coming up, fighting and stuff like that. So, but I'm telling them, I'm pissed because y'all always messing stuff up. So as I'm telling them that right there, somebody was saying that I was arguing with the guys, from my neighborhood, saying that I was physically getting in an argument with them. Mm-hmm. So the feds ended up kicking in my club one night, trying to get a videotape of the so-called argument that me and some guys from my neighborhood was having. But just so happened, when the guys walked away from me, so-called saying that I was arguing with them, they end up getting in a whole nother argument on their way to their vehicle. Mm-hmm. So with the guys they got in the argument with was the actual guys who had something to do with coming and shooting up some stuff, which resulted into one of my little cousins dying. But nobody at the time had mentioned about that other argument. They only mentioned lines saying that I was the one who was arguing. So they tried to make it seem like it was behind me. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the case, So it ended up coming out far as the homicide detective doing their work and finding out that it was a so-called another argument, that the real argument that really happened, like with guns drawn and some more stuff, that got nothing to do with me. They end up finding out about that. But just so happened they didn't have enough evidence to charge them guys because nobody physically saw them do it.
Right.
But you know how it is. It makes the story way more better to the world when it's like a guy like me, a drug dealer, and try to actually put that on me. So that's why I couldn't, that's why they couldn't charge me anything, because they know like it didn't make no sense for me to even do that. And then plus my phone was tapped, so they already knew like, every conversation, my move and everything. So they know it had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But so I had to live with that for years, and it's still people still spreading rumors and stuff like still say, oh, this and that, and you know what I mean? But it is what it is. They always got something to say about the bad guy.
Of course.
Right. And the person who was murdered you were related to him, right?
Yeah.
All right. So RG.
Okay. So now they picked you up. What was the deal on the table for you?
So what happened was, like, I'm in the cell one day. I'm probably like, so I had to work my way back from Florida to Suffolk.
Okay.
Because my lawyer says, listen, I'm going to have the marshals come down there to Florida. So some Florida marshals come and pick you up, because if you come back on the airplane or if you get caught in the car, they trying to make an example and a movie out of you. Like they can put you on TV, they're gonna do this and that. Right. So I'm gonna have you get carried into the FDC in Florida. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going there, whatever, and working my way back on airplanes and stuff to get back to Suffolk. So I'm in Suffolk prison one day, and after I'm finding out more and more stuff about the case and what's going on. So my lawyer, so like you have lawyer visits. So they call the lawyer visit. So as I'm going to see the lawyer and I walk into this room, is my lawyer. So he tells me, listen, he said, you don't got to say nothing. He said, but you got the DA and all of them are in the next room and they want to talk to you. So I'm like, talk to them about what? So he like, you only got to say anything. Just listen what they got to say, but it's very serious, you know, this and that. So I go in the room, I sit down with them, whatever. And the first thing they showed me is what they had against my mother and them. So now you have to understand this. When it comes to them federal charges, you don't get to pick and choose which charges you're going to fight. Like you don't say, my mother can go to trial and my sister can go to trial because they don't got anything to do with any drugs. And so, but over here, I'm going to plead guilty. It don't work like that. What they say is you going to plead guilty to all of it or y'all all gone, you know? Right. So they had made up a lot of fabrications on each one of my family members in the whole nine, you know, so they're basically telling me that, yo, listen, they're breaking down the whole category thing or whatever it is. And so they say, listen, you got this guy who's the connect, who's telling on you. Now, he don't want to cooperate on his partner, which is another guy who I end up meeting. So when I end up going to Phoenix to go meet these guys, it was only one who was coming down. The one who was coming down, that's who ended up getting picked up. So I tell him, so he tells me he don't want to tell on the other guy. So if you come help us tell about the meeting or what happened and transpired in that actual meeting, we will give your family immunity. We're not going to pick them up because they already had everybody else in custody. But they're like, we're not going to pick them up. But if you don't help us get this other guy, then we're going to pick them up, even though the charges that they're trying to charge them with was ranging in between like 5 and 10 years. I'm sitting there like, well, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So I said, so you mean to tell me all you want me to do is just say the actual, when I went to Phoenix, what the other guy said he was going to give me the amount of drugs for in the whole nine. So they're like, yeah. So they're like, okay. But how I'm looking at it too is this one guy, he gonna end up coming out of prison, going back with his partner, and me and my family, you know, we still be in prison. So I said, all right, cool. I signed up for that. So they give my family immunity. So that's all was supposed to have been said. So it ended up happening. What people don't understand, once you sign up for that, it opens up other room to come and say, okay, well, you need to come talk to us about this, and that. You understand what I'm saying? All that came later.
So okay, so let me ask this. I want to backtrack just a little bit because you touched on a subject that's touchy for a lot of people in the town. So you mentioned Big Daddy and you mentioned Bo and Dave. So a lot of times your name will come up in conversations about Big Daddy, particularly. I can't necessarily say that I've heard your name come up in regards to Bo and Dave, but I don't know. So the question that a lot of people in the town ask, and I'm gonna ask you straight out: did you have anything to do with Big Daddy getting picked up?
Okay, so one, Big Daddy was getting picked up anyway. For one, we gonna clear the air with that one. Big Daddy gone anyway, you know. But you have to understand this: me and Big Daddy never dealt with each other. We never ever. The only business deal that me and Big Daddy had was his club. Okay. When I had Encore and I was bringing people to Encore, I was also taking them down there to Big Daddy Club.
The club in Miami.
Okay. Club in Miami.
Right down.
So one day, yeah. So one day, me and Big Daddy was having a conversation. And at the time, I wasn't even back in the game yet. So Big Daddy's telling me how he was still, you know, that he was doing his thing, whatever. And he was telling me about this one guy who was telling on him in the feds. I don't want to say his name, but who got picked up. So so he tells me, he said, listen, if you know anybody who wanted anything out the way, just let me know. So I was like, all right, because you understand though, like I said, I don't know what Big Daddy was actually getting or whatever, but I haven't bought no drugs from a black person in Virginia since 2000. Like, it don't make no sense for me to buy no 1 or 2 keys from you. So you already know we never dealt with each other. So just so happened, one of my co-defendants, you know, with ain't gonna say no names, he had wanted something. He was like, man, the streets are dry, and this before I even hop back in, like I say. So I said, well, listen, I know somebody who got some, whatever you want to deal with them. So he was like, all right, cool. So I brokered the deal between him and Big Daddy. So per se, I am dealing with him, but I'm not dealing with him. So in the process of, like I told you, once I signed on about the connect telling on me, it opens up other rooms for other stuff for them to ask you.
Right.
So I'm already saying in my mind, I would never tell on that one of my friends. Like that don't even make sense to me. Like anybody who's close to me, like I'm not gonna tell on you. Like no, you know what I'm saying? And which I'm glad though I wasn't presented with that, even though they showed me pictures of a couple of other people who was on the streets. But I'm sitting there like, nah, I don't know what they was doing. I don't know what they was doing. You know what I mean? I'm downplaying that. So when they come and say Big Daddy name and they like, you ever dealt with him? I said, no, I ain't never dealt with him because I haven't. So they say, well, we're hearing that something happened between y'all as far as somebody getting some work from him. So now I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to understand this. Once I signed that deal for whatever I had to do, now if I get caught in that lie saying
that you did
yeah, and Big Daddy come in, and if he come in and he say that happened, now I'm screwed. The deal. You know what I mean? So I can't take that chance of me saying, nah, like they ain't happened. But then if I also say that happened, now the person who's saying that they dealt with him, which is somebody who's, you know, dear to me, I'm making them look like they're lying and they telling the truth. So I basically said, yeah, it did happen. So me saying I dealt with him, no. So what it did was make it sounds better is saying that I said that deal did happen, and they put my name. This happened. They put my name on the man paperwork. I'm sitting there, why y'all do that? You know what I'm saying? But me dealing with Big Daddy, I never dealt with him. So that's how that ended up happening.
So the deal that you're referring to, because if memory serves correct, in the indictment there is a situation where they talk about Big Daddy's club, White Diamonds, and they talk about you and Big Daddy being there together and exchanging some work in the back room. If memory serves me correct.
That's a lie. We ain't never did no work. We never had no work change any of that.
Is that what it says in the indictment?
I never seen that.
Okay.
I never seen it.
Okay, so
but hold on. But one thing what makes me so upset, and it shouldn't. I hate when people bring up names of who I supposed to had told on and all this. And when you bring a person's name up and knowing that they snitched, like don't come to me telling me about I supposed to had snitched on somebody and they read it. Like that's the whole confusing part to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, I ain't here to point no fingers. Right. You got to clear the air with that right there though. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you're going to lie about a situation and speak somebody's name who's a stand-up guy. Don't speak nobody's name who actually snitched. Like that don't make no sense. What do you think, Green?
Hey,
what you think, Green?
I ain't asked you no questions. I have no comment on that particular issue right there with you and Big Daddy. I understand what you're saying though, and I get it fully. I just ain't commenting.
So all right. So I get that's cleared up for the town. So still that era when you get picked up, it's still a tough time for the town. Like the town goes through a drought, but you're still going through things in prison because on the streets people are saying that there are people that you told on, right? Like the Big Daddy thing is a situation that has floated through the 757 for over 10 years now. Right. You've cleared that up. But what was it like for you on the inside at that time? Right. Because I'm assuming, and I don't remember when Fred got picked up. I don't remember if it was if it was too long after you or not too long after you, because I know
it was a couple of months after you. Yeah.
Geez, I don't the timetable escapes me. But what was it like for you on the inside? Because on the outside, I know what people were saying. We all know what people were saying. What was it like for you on the inside at that time? Before you even got your sentence and all of that stuff? What was it like for you?
I'll keep it 100 with you, right? Remember when I told you 64 people was ready to testify against me, right? So 64 people is a lot of people. So 64 people in Virginia were ready to testify against me. So with me saying that, don't you think 64 is more than that who actually in Virginia who snitched?
Mm-hmm.
I say that to say, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I say that to say, in the federal system, they categorize everybody as your state, and every state got a whole bunch of people who snitch.
When you're on the yard, is what you're saying.
Yeah, when you're on the yard.
On the yard. Mm-hmm.
So the real reason why, when I say that I had it good in every place I went, even though you got people talk behind the person back, is because it was a lot of people who snitched in Virginia. So how can people in Virginia come at me when they did the same thing? So therefore, what's gonna happen to me? Like when everybody in the old prison been told. So ain't nobody gonna come at me sideways because I know everything on everybody. So you can't go and say, "Oh man, pointing the finger at me," because I'm like, "Huh?"
I said, "Right, you're right."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it wasn't like no thing of me got to hide this and that. But now it was other. See, I'm a guy who I talk to everybody, and guys them from Virginia used to like get mad sometimes because I might be cool with guys them from New York, I'd be cool with dudes them from Baltimore, I'd be cool with a lot of guys in them. So when I'm showing them actually my paperwork and they seeing the circumstances of what happened, and they seeing the situation, is like, yo, listen, all right, now I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna say this in front of nobody else, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they basically saying, man, I don't know if I could have had, such and such if like my people then was involved in it. You know what I'm saying? And then they looking at it like, because it's not saying that I told on nobody from Virginia. You know what I mean? It's not really like really saying that. It's saying about the Mexican guy. You know what I'm saying? Which his partner told on me. So they looking at it in black and white, saying that the connect told on me and I went on his partner. So so they look like,
is that considered snitching?
It is what it is.
So is that you consider yourself a snitch?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. If you tell anything for your benefit, you are a snitch, regardless on how it is. You know what I'm saying? But if my family was involved again tomorrow, which would never happen because I never said no again, and I had to pick between a Mexican guy and his partner, him telling on me, and me having to go and tell what I had to tell on this guy, I would do it again. But the whole thing of me telling on my friends and all this and all that, I don't be knowing where that information be coming from. Because like I say, I tell anybody, let me see that paperwork that say that I told on any of my friends. Like, what friends did I tell on? I never told on any one of my friends. But far as if you ask me that question, I don't care. Like I say, I always say this: a small lie and a big lie is still a lie.
So with all of that being said, you getting out, was that hard to try to mend those relationships? Was there a lot of mending that had to be done? What was that like with he said, she said, but you knew what was the facts and what was the truth? Like,
the only relationship that I need to mend is with my family, is with my kids. Otherwise, nothing else matters.
Right.
Like, I don't care that somebody don't like me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to sit in prison. I'm supposed to sit in prison so you can like me. So I'm supposed to say, yo,
hell no.
You know what?
And I think that's something that people get misconstrued, right? When it comes to what you just said you had to do, looking out for your family or looking out for everybody else who, at the end of the day, really is not gonna give a damn about you once you in there. You know what I mean?
No, because at the end of the day, they didn't give a, excuse my language, because I'm not a big cusser, but they didn't give a fuck about me anyway when it came to them putting bodies on me and stuff. Like, like
there it is.
Like saying they're doing this, you're lying on me, telling me what drugs and all this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm gonna go in and tell you this right here, right? It's so crazy because I got the same thing from when I was out, when I was in prison. So it wouldn't matter anyway. But I'm gonna say this right here, and it sounds like it's a catch-22, or I'm like trying to, like, I don't like people who actually, it's funny when I say this, but they ain't where I came from. Like, I don't condone snitching. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is a circumstance of what happened, but I don't condone snitching. You know what I mean? But you have to understand this right here. what is the incentive for a stand-up dude who went in and did 20, 30 years? What is the incentive for him doing 20 and 30 years? What do he get for actually doing his time, keeping his mouth closed? All the stand-up dudes who I know who did that time and come home, they end up dead or they end up going back to prison, because you got guys in them who actually come home. Guys in them will put up a post, or he'll stand up solid dude, but he can't get a job. He don't got no money.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you give? So I'm saying it to, like, I already think if you're out there selling drugs, like, it's corny right now anyway. But if you're out there selling drugs, right? Like, people always saying, man, rat this, rat that, and rats need to die and the whole nine, da. Y'all are the ones who is actually making it look bad for the stand-up guy by not looking out for him. And I say that because these guys will come home, right, and don't got no direction. Don't got no direction at all, right? And I say that, and I'm going back a little bit. Okay, you got Meech's brother just came home, Southwest. You got 6ix9ine just came home, right? So 6ix9ine, you know, they say rat this, and he getting the glory or whatever.
Right.
Then you got Meech's brother just came home. It won't tell 50 Cent posted and said, hey, y'all need to get this man his money. Puffy, y'all need to get his money. Y'all need to get his money. If he a stand-up dude, shouldn't I have to tell you to go get that man no money? Y'all automatically give him his money. You understand what I'm saying? So you're telling the youth that if you go to prison and you get caught up and you do your time, you come home in 20 years, you still don't stand a chance. So now they going in there thinking, oh, shoot, man, listen, I'm going to tell and I'm going to come on home. They're going to, I'm going to be, ain't going to have nothing anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Like it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? You got to give the stand-up guy, not only just a pat on the back, but look out for him. Not just no post and say, oh, he'll stand up solid.
Right.
Like
that. You get a Twitter post. that's a tweet.
I'm gonna deal with that.
Like,
I'm gonna eat all that.
Yeah, so I don't care. I don't care nobody like me. Like, you cannot like me.
That's
because I don't need you anyway.
I'm sure you lost a lot of friends. I'm sure.
I doubt it.
Well, actually, all my friends who've been my friends still my friends.
Oh, really? You didn't lose nobody that was your friend? You haven't lost anyone? You haven't lost any friends?
I lost friends who, but let me say this. I didn't lose any day one friends. I didn't lose any of my day one friends. All my day one friends who came up with me from the time that I was in the sandbox, from the time that I hopped into music,
they still there.
It's still my friends. You know what I'm saying? All the guys who went down with me in prison are still my friends. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't consider my music friends. Are
you talking about Pusha and Malice? Are you talking about Pusha and Malice when you say music friends?
Yeah. So you know, just like I said, like even when it comes to them, you know, I just look at it like it was a business. You understand what I'm saying? Like
they were like family to you?
I thought it was, but at the end of the day, I saw that my real family is still my real family. It's the guys them who was in the sandbox.
I want to backtrack just a little bit. So you're locked up, and let's just hop into the Snitch record. So Pusha drops the Snitch record, which is a record that there's a video for it. There's all this fanfare. There's all this talk about, is this record about Tony Gonzalez? The record drops. You get word of it while you're locked up, right?
Yep.
What's your initial reaction? Well, how did you hear about it? How did you hear about it? And what was your initial reaction to the Snitch record that Pusha made?
Well, I heard about it from a guy who actually he was one of them guys on the yard who used to always say, like how Rich Girl just asked me, do you consider yourself a snitch? You know, so you had guys them who on the jump say, man, shoot, he good. But you know, you got some people who be like, man, I don't care, man. Like, shoot, my mom would have went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Some stupid stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's so dumb.
I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But still
yeah, like, you're a real nigga.
Right. The moment in jail, you a real one.
You're a real
nigga. Oh, yeah. So, lock mama up.
So he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to get anything on me or anything to, So I wake up and he like he yells out, "Hey, yo, Geezy!" I'm like, "Yo," he like, "Man, your man got a song out about you." You know what I mean? I'm like, "About me?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "What's it about?" Whatever. So he like, "Yeah, snitch song." So he said in front of everybody, So now people looking at me like, "Oh." But the crazy thing is though. But it's so crazy though. Everybody already knows my situation, so it wasn't a thing of him putting it out there. He just put it out there to just basically try to embarrass me with the simple fact of your man got a song out. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the phone and I call. I call Terrence. So I'm like, "Yo, bro, you got a song out, this and that." And he like, "Yeah." I said, "It's about me." So he said, "No, it ain't about you." He said, "Did you listen to it?" So I'm like, "Well, no." You know what I mean? I just ran straight to the phone. So he's like, "Well, you need to listen to it." So I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool." So I go and I listen to the song, and the first thing come on the song is saying something about, riding dirt bikes together, graduating from college and all that. So off top, once the song come on, I'm like, "Oh, it definitely ain't about me." Mm-hmm. Me and him never rode no bikes together. Like I didn't meet them until I was like 20-something years old. You know what I'm saying? 30 years old, you know what I'm saying?
So you feeling good about it. So you're like, "Oh, it ain't about me. I can rock to it." Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But as I'm listening to it, I'm hearing stuff about other people who I know that I'm saying, "Oh, that's about such and such. Oh, that part is about such and such." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when they get down to the last part and it says the legacy, then that would make me be like, okay, we definitely built the legacy. You know what I'm saying? And when I say built the legacy, especially with me and him, I'm talking about with the music, with the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like that made me say that part can't be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like that section of that song, that last part was about me, but I understand why he had to make that record. You know. So let me
ask this. Let me hop in real quick because Pusha has said publicly that when the indictment came and y'all got locked up, that I want to say 9 of his best friends went down in that indictment. Those are his words, right? 9 of his best friends. So could it be that part of the song that you're taking as where he says the legacy, could it be that he was talking about someone else because it was 9 of y'all, right? So could it be that there was someone else in the circle that particular line was referring to?
No, because who else built a legacy out of that? Like nobody else helped build no legacy. Like all them was getting work from me.
But if he's saying that 9 of my best friends got locked up, right? I mean, again, I don't know what he was thinking. I'm just saying, again, Rich Girl likes to say I like to play devil's advocate. Could he have been talking about somebody else in that line, like you thought all along, wasn't even about you?
Well, he was the only one that was on the road with them like that. He was only manager out of them.
But I mean, where everybody was coming on the road. But my whole thing is, it could have been. But as I'm listening to the record, he's talking about some of the 9 best friends. You know what I'm saying? So when he's talking about that, I'm like, okay, well, this, that. So I'm trying to see where do I fit in at, and I don't fit in none of it. So the only reason why I say me is because I look at it like me and him built the legacy. But I understand what you're saying. Possibly couldn't have been. Because in the prison system, don't nobody know, and like that's what a lot of stuff come in at too far, the rumors and stuff about me told on the world and all this and all that dealing with the song. Don't nobody know all the rest of the 9 people. All they know is the Clipse manager, me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So automatically on top, people who don't even know ain't ride dirt bikes with him and ain't go to his graduation and stuff like that. They looking at it like, oh no, you rode dirt bikes with him. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they say the song is about me.
Right. I mean, and again, like I
wasn't mad about that for him making the song though. But go ahead.
Right. But what I was just going to say, if you all were still in constant communication at that time, y'all were talking regularly. He was in communication with your family, with your wife, Christmas, holidays, stuff like that. I guess it's kind of hard for me to understand why he would then turn around and make a record dissing you, or a piece of a record dissing you, if y'all were still regularly communicating and y'all were still cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't
because of all the scrutiny and all the stuff that came with it, everything that came with it, and even with the lies of like I said, still to this day, I heard that I told on the whole town, I told on my friends. So that's what's circulating in the street. So don't you think, as him being a rapper, he got to separate the two?
Himself, right?
You know what I'm saying? So even if it's not about me, the song to the public, it's about me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I give him that. You know what I'm saying? When he's saying, "Well, listen to the record, it ain't about you," which is true. I will give him that. I will definitely give him that. You know what I'm saying? But I was just looking at it like, but the world is going to look at it on that song is about you. Right. That's why right now the world thinks it's about me. You know what I'm saying?
So it's more like a business move for him.
True. True. Very smart. Very, very smart and intelligent guy. Very, 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 very.
So you're locked up for what, 8.5 years?
Yeah.
8.5 years. You're in there. You're behind the wall.
So they took it from 32 to 8 years. Right.
So let's talk about how we get from 32, which is we skipped over that. We didn't even get to once you get sentenced to 32 years, right? So 32 years, RICO charges, kingpin.
Hey, you was in the courtroom, right? Weren't you in the courtroom? I think I saw you.
We was there. We both was there.
I was there. I was there. Yeah, I was there in the sentencing.
Yeah.
32 years they give you for what was it? RICO, kingpin, all of the criminal enterprise charges. Is that correct? Am I saying that properly?
Yep.
CCE. I'm sorry. CCE. Right. So they give you 32 years. So when they give you those 32 years, what are you feeling?
Well, you probably knew that you were getting 32 when you went in there, right?
Well, no, actually, they said that it was a chance that I was going to get life. So I'm going there thinking that I'm going to get life, but I'm looking at it like my family's good, so it is what it is. That's how I'm looking at it.
You thought you were going to get life after cooperating?
Yeah, see, because you gotta understand though, like just because I signed up with the Mexican guy, that deal was to get my family off.
Oh, that won't to protect you though. Okay.
That still had nothing to do with me.
Okay.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it said though that we can't promise you anything. But if that so happened, if the partner end up going to trial, if he end up getting picked up and he goes to trial, then we can talk about a whole other situation.
Okay. But
I'm going into it is what my time is going to be. That's what my time is going to be, and my family is good.
Right.
So when I end up getting going in there, and the judge, y'all was in the courtroom when the judge is saying he's looking at everything I've done and what was going on, and he like, yo, you a good dude, like you know what I'm saying, like we understand the circumstances of what's happening, but like you really a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, but I got to stick with the guidelines. So he gave me the low end of the guidelines. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no record and, so forth. And actually, the guys actually signed up to say if I was to get out, that they would hire me again. You know what I'm saying?
So you would have gainful employment.
Like, all that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he gave me the low end of my guidelines, which was the 32 years. So it ain't come till 5 years later when I get called from the compound to say, pack it up, you know what I'm saying? You going out of town because the Mexican guy was going to trial. So they had to fly me to Phoenix, and they had me in a cell next to the Mexican guy, and he basically telling me, that it ain't gonna be no repercussions on my part, because if his partner would have hold his weight, and they wouldn't put me in that situation to even put my family even in it. So he said, well, it ain't gonna be no trial today. So he said, but it ain't gonna be no trial today. Like, I ain't going to trial. So I was like, all right, cool. But I'm saying, like, okay, what that mean for me? I'm like, damn, dude ain't going to trial. You know what I'm saying? Because all I was supposed to go in there to say was, yeah, I flew to Phoenix, and he said that he was gonna give me this for that amount and that amount.
That's all.
They put you in a holding cell. They put you in a holding cell with him.
Next, like, we won't be in the same cell. It'd be bars between it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you can see him though.
He's right beside me, but there's a bar actually between us. So, like, the person
was that an
accident?
Trial, you think? Or you think they did it on purpose?
No,
you think it was an accident?
That's what they do. That's what they do, because they do that to scare the person who's going to trial. Like,
all
these people right here
man. Right.
Do what they call it. All these people right next to you are about to smoke your boots.
Right.
They're gonna smoke you. So they want you to see. So they want you to look that person. They want you to look that person in the face. So they want you to look.
Do you think he's not gonna tell?
Yeah. So they want you to look that person in the face and say, "Yo, like this what? Are you sure you want to go? Because that's you do that for people who close to you, and they like, yo." Your man is about to go on you. You know what I mean? What you gonna do? You need to think and reconsider this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the only one in there. There's a couple of like Mexican guys and everything in there. You know what I'm saying? So, so they end up flying me back. So when they fly me back, I'm like, dang. So now I'm thinking
they flew you there just to do that. Because you didn't have to testify.
Yeah, because he's going to trial, but I guess he already said that he wasn't going to go, but they still got to go through the procedures because just say the tap on your shoulder. Yo. Listen, make sure you keep that deal. Make sure you keep that same energy because you know what I mean. We got these people. You know what I'm saying? So they still had to go through the procedure of flying me there. So they already knew that it was gonna be continued. You know what I'm saying? So when I get back and I'm talking to my lawyer, he's like, I'm like, dang, I ain't gonna get on the stand or whatever. So I'm like, I'm still gonna have my 32 years. You know what I'm saying? So
right. You thought you were gonna get a deal right there.
They agreed to cut your time in half. So I was like, oh, all right. So I'm cool with that. I'm like, woo, okay, cool. You know what I mean? 16 years. I'm like, all right, let's rock. That's better than 32. But he said, nah, I'm fighting that. And he said, I'm fighting that because I'm going to say actually like, well, hold on. It's because of you seeing your face that made him say, I ain't going to trial. You know what I'm saying? So you got to not only give me something for that, but you got to say, what if he did go to trial and now I'm putting my life on the line to go testify, which I didn't have to do. So they said, I basically signed up to say, okay, I'm going to do it. But now I'm putting my life on the line by saying I'm going to do it. So you can't say, oh no, because he's going to plead out. And this is the whole thing. You end up signing up to cooperate. So he ended up being a snitch. So now they say, hold on. The reason why he became a snitch is because everybody who in that cell. So 3 months later, they end up dropping it to 10 years. And so I knew I was ready to come home in like 3 years. After that 5 years, I did.
So they drop it to 10, and then you do 85% of the 10. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right. Yep. Right. RG?
Yeah, I know that had to be like crazy for your wife. Like, what about your family? Like, were they scared for you? Were they scared to be on the outside knowing that you were about to go testify against this Mexican?
Well, it was a thing of they had long reach, but we was all still looking at it like, you got to understand, the Mexican guy, the other one is the one who had started it. So it's sitting there like, which you can, say, buck, you know what I'm saying? But y'all the one who started this.
Right, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't had to bring my mom in a minute. You ain't had to do that. You could have just really did your time. They only gave him 10 years. Like, he didn't get the 32s and the 40s. They just gave him just 10 years.
For giving you
know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for giving me up. So, like, that right there was talked about, but at the same time, it was like, y'all the ones who had started that. So
do you think they made you the target? You think they made you the target, especially since the dude was your plug on some, just because you probably was, popular because of the music, you know what I mean? Because it really is crazy that you was the target when you want the plug.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but like I say, they looked at it like I was the plug for Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So I'm the one.
But they still didn't give. But they didn't give the Mexican RICO charges also. You said, what they didn't. They gave him the regular sentence. Regular conspiracy charge, right?
That's why I tell you, with my record and all that, they had to make it into a CCE. If you go look up the term CCE, they have to charge 6 or more people. They got to charge 6 or more people to even make it a CCE. So what they're doing is saying, okay, cool, we're going to bring all these other people into it so we can make it a CCE.
Right, but even then, knowing that, they still could have gave the Mexican a CCE charge. If they wanted to, you see what I'm saying?
True, if they wanted to. Yeah.
Like I feel like almost like that was like some hate from the. I feel like they might have had hate.
Yeah, because they didn't want them. Because Quiet as Kept was so crazy is they was trying to get me in 2000 before I had signed on to the music. But like once you go for like the investigation only lasts like 5 years. So with me stopping, they didn't have anything at all. So I stopped like just in time, basically. You know what I'm saying? So then once I started up, then they're like, "Oh, he back." You know what I mean?
Let's get him.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, you had guys them around town who was they were trying to get out. They were trying to get out of prison. So and had them there to go in. So they looked at it like, you know, we can go and get him.
So what we didn't touch on Encore. I wanted to touch on Encore just a little bit. I guess this might be backtracking just a little bit, and then we'll move back up to where we were. Encore, which was the club that you own, and also in the indictment, if memory serves correct, Tim Montgomery's name was in the indictment, and you being the owner of Encore, somehow you were tied into that situation. For those that don't know, Tim Montgomery was the Olympic gold medalist who is from the 757. He's from the 757, right?
From Peninsula side.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about how that relationship came up and what your role was in Encore, because a lot of people remember Encore, and a lot of people may or may not have known what Tim's role in that whole situation was. So break that situation down for me a little bit. I know a lot of people might have questions about that. And if you got questions, leave them in the comments. Go ahead, Geezy.
Tim, my man. Tim, a good dude, man. I rock with Tim, man. You know, the only thing that I had against Tim was that I didn't know he was hustling. I didn't know Tim was hustling. I didn't know what he was doing at the club. You know what I mean? So I even had to plead guilty on saying that I did things out of the club, which I never did. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you can't pick and choose what you want to plead guilty to and all that. Once you plead guilty, you plead guilty to whatever it is. And, you know, like I said, they ended up dropping my charges from the CCE and gave me only the regular conspiracy and 5 years for the gun. So I didn't get charged with the CCE. That's what they used against me to get the conviction. But as far as Tim concerned, you know, the girl Ashley from the Beach House was running a club, and him and the white guy, James, who owned the strip club, they was partners. And Ashley came to me and wanted to sell part of the club. So I end up buying half of the club, 50% of the club from Tim and the white guy, James. And come to find out, and it's so crazy because I end up discovering that the whole time I thought Tim was the one who had told the people that I had bought some of the club for with marijuana too. It wasn't Tim who actually said that. It was actually the white guy, James, who did it. But like I'm saying, Tim ain't never tell on me, ain't had nothing to do. Like me and Tim good, man. You know, I'm thinking like I say though, Tim ain't keep it real with me as far as what he was doing. You know what I mean? What you want to do? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But whatever Tim had going on there, that's what Tim had going on there. You know what I mean? Right. Tim good with me.
Right. All right. So you do your time, and they knock that 32 down to 10. That 10 goes to 8.5, and 8.5, and you come home, right? And you come home as someone who had ties into the music industry, who had ties with the Clipse, who had ties with Star Trek and everything, entertainment, everything. Right. What is it like for you when you come home? And the world has changed, because when you went in, there was no Instagram, there was no smartphone, there was no iPhone.
I couldn't imagine that transition.
No Uber,
there was smartphones.
We had the Blackberries.
Yeah,
Blackberry time.
Yeah, Geezy was the Blackberry king. Now I remember that. Geezy was the Blackberry king.
Yeah,
he used to have like 3 or 4 of them James. Like I remember that. So what is it like for you coming home, and not only has the world changed, but your circle has changed a little bit, right? Because the people who you were close with, when you went in there, you aren't necessarily close with all of them anymore. So what is that like for you?
Man, well, first I'm gonna say, like I say, when them cuffs I'm taking them back a little bit. When they put them cuffs on me, it was a sign of relief though, you know, because like I said, I was tired. You know what I mean? I was stressed. So now with me being out, that stress far as that isn't there no more. Because now ain't nobody depending on me but my family, but my kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like a relief that my bills don't exceed $60,000 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right. Them $300 sound kind of good compared to that. I ain't even gonna hold you.
So it's cool that like even when it comes to my parents. So I used to like take care of my parents like crazy. Like I had a crib built in Chesapeake when they stayed. It was like a ranch style place, and they stayed on the other like side of the house or whatever, But I was taking care of so many people, and I handicapped a lot of people, even from like my one of my sisters and my parents and all that. So for me to come home, and from that time, they all learned how to take care of themselves.
Oh, right.
So now they got their own place, they got their own car. So now they able to pay their own bills and all that.
Right.
So now the thing of like, even with my circle of family members who went down, all my little cousins and all them working, everybody got like trucks, and you know what I mean? So everybody is like taking care of themselves. You know what I mean? Like we all help each other out if we need it, but everybody's good. You know what I mean? So that stress level of me being able, if I'm in the jam or I need something, I can call my sister and be like, hey, I need you. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? So, you know, that whole stress of that right there is like, man, I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. You know, our whole family has changed so much. You know, my life is like, man, it's good. And I heard the other day that I was selling drugs. I actually heard this the other day. A guy pulled up beside me.
Yeah. He pulled up beside you, and what he say?
No, so I'm in my truck. I'm in my truck in my trailer. I got cars on the back and everything. I work hard every day. You know, so I'm riding, and this guy pulled up beside me, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I remember him, like, you know, I know him. So and he rolled down the window. He like, yo, what's up, man? I'm like, yo, what's up? And he like, man, man, I heard, you know, this and that. And I'm like,
not from me, you did.
I'm dirty.
Yeah.
I'm dirty as all way. You talking about, see, is a difference. Now, I know before when I used to use businesses, you know, as a front, right? But I wasn't working the business. You know what I'm saying? So what make you think I'm going to work hard every day and still going to sell drugs? Like, you know, so what you think, like on some, like, I look at like, for you to even think that I'm going to pick up some drugs and use drugs, like, you don't, like, you just think I'm just a fool. Like, I
out your damn mind.
You will never. Was that hard for you, Geezy? Because I know you're saying now, like, all right, that's whack. I'm not selling no drugs no more. I'm not going back to the, you know, on the inside. But was it hard initially? Because a lot of people can't see it the way you see it. They get back to the game because
they go right back to it.
Right? I can't do nothing that's less legal. It takes time. That takes effort.
Like, do you know what gets, like, the only thing that's different from like that part is I don't sell drugs, but I still love the hustle, like the life. Right. You know what I mean? I still love the lifestyle. I can't get that lifestyle out of me because I just like the, you know what I mean? I love to turn up. You know what I mean?
Like the coaching.
So what does that mean? What's that mean? Would you be?
I'm just like, you know, even though I'm 45 years old, right? I'm 45, but I'm not the kind of person that's still going to go to dinner, eat dinner, and then go home and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like after dinner, I want to go.
Right. And then I want to go to the after party club, and then the club after the club. Yeah.
Right.
That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? I can't get that part of me yet. I mean, but you gotta understand though, I left when I was 32, 33 years old at that peak of me partying. So for me to be gone for that long,
you got some party left in you.
Think I want to get up and go back that? Nah, you know what I'm saying? But you know, do I want to eventually get to that point? Yeah, I do. But right now, it's like I just don't got that sit down in me. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be 75 before that happens. When it happens.
No green.
Hey, it's plenty of old gangsters in the street. It's something that's in you. You ain't gonna never stop for real. I'm telling, unless you get sick.
So he doesn't want to like.
We gonna be running these streets forever.
Is more calm, and he go to bed at 9 o'clock. Keep dinner at 8.
Facts.
He wants a red pill lifestyle.
Yeah, but I ain't trying to. Now the thing is, I'm not trying to be sitting in the club in Virginia. No, but you know, I'd rather. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Right, yeah.
Even if it's some light, stepping out getting a drink, like I said, you just ain't gonna sleep at 9 o'clock.
We have to understand this though. But the way my mind think is, when I first came home, I didn't go run and get me no car. You know what I'm saying? Well, I saw people coming home going to get the flashy cars and doing all that. My mind wasn't there. I went and got me a truck that's going to make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because first, I had to know how am I going to provide. So my whole mind frame is of that. You know what I mean? It ain't of me trying to show off or you know, I want people to think that I got money and all this. Right. I'm not doing that. Now my mind frame though is I don't care what you think about me. You can think I'm broke. You can think like all that stuff don't even matter. Like if I had to go to Walmart, I would go to Walmart and work. I don't care that you're saying, man, that used to be a kingpin. He in Walmart now. That don't hurt me because the most average guy, he think like the whole reason why certain guys come home from prison and they want to hop back in the street because they can't take the simple fact of they ride in a subpar car and they see the young boy coming past in something crazy and they pull up and they like, God dang, you know what I mean? Yep. And they feel like
self-esteem. It's self-esteem issues. That's all it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They think they're missing something, but I don't care if I'm in my work truck or I got on me or I'm a little dirty and all that, and they pull up and like, man, what that guy used to be. That don't affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that affects me, and like I said, this is something that I need to control. Like, I don't care if somebody say, oh man, that nigga a snitch. I don't care nothing about all that. I don't care about any of that right there. I care about a lie though when it comes to that. If somebody's saying, "Oh, that nigga told on all his friend," or that nigga told on the town, stuff like that bothers me still. You know what I mean? Like if you want to get to me, say something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, but you just gonna just lie like that? You really just gonna?
But you know how the streets are. I mean, you're never gonna get away from that. I
understand that. I really understand that. Like I understand that 100%. But like I said though, I need to control it. I'm telling you though, I'm not perfect. Like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you my flaw.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm being real. I'm being real when it comes to that. Like, I want to beat you up. I really want to beat you up. You know what I'm saying? I understand that the people ain't playing fair and they got their guns and all this and all that. But I really want to beat you up. I really want to see you and beat you up. Whether I beat you up or you gonna beat me or either you gonna beat me up or I'm gonna beat you up and I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna know that you ain't gonna say anything out your mouth. But I need to learn how to get around that.
Yo, that might be the most bizarre thing you've ever said in your life. That's the most inside thing to say right there. Like you just want to beat.
Really want to beat you up.
Right.
No, Jeezy, we as counselor right now. He let that out.
Jeezy, do you consider yourself a kingpin? Like I know that's the talk and everything, but do you consider yourself? Because you in the game for what? About 5 years, or was it more than that?
I started hustling. I was like 15 years old, and I got.
Oh, wait a minute, you a vet? Okay, all right. So yeah. Do you consider yourself a kingpin? Is that a term that you would use to describe what it was back then?
Right now, I would consider myself as just an average person. I'm an average guy. Back then. I mean, the reason why I would say yes, and that's whether I was actually literally paying for the whole 50 keys myself. I'm getting 50 keys. I'm getting 5,000 pounds of weed. You know what I mean, or whatever it is. Like guys in Virginia won't get that. I mean, well, some guys probably was. I don't know what people was doing. You know what I mean. But on the average though, when you got a Mexican plug, like giving you that, like that puts you in another whole category. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of. I probably won't make no money off of it. I'm just using an example. But for the amount of drugs that I actually had, that's kingpin status. Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Is that the reason for, let's go into the book. Is that the reason for writing the book? Is it a chance for you to tell your story, to kind of make things straight? What's the reasoning behind the book?
Okay. So my reason behind the book, like first I toyed with it at first. You know, I actually toyed with it saying I'm going to put the book out because I wrote it in prison. And it will, and at the time, my mind frame was, man, I'm gonna put a book out, I'll make me some money. So when I came home, I wasn't thinking about the book, and but I already had my business ideas and stuff that I actually wanted to do. So, like when I came home, I actually drove for Uber. I worked for Aaron's Rental. I was carrying furniture up 3 flights of stairs. Like I'm really like working. I'm working on what you gotta do. Yeah, I've been there like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like I'm so humble. I don't care if you know, just like the Young Jock story when Young Jock was riding. And, yo, you drive an Uber. Say, I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I mean? And they have no money. You know what I'm saying? So my whole train of thought in that process is like, you know, it is what it is. But what was the question?
That's all right. So what was the whole reasoning behind writing the book?
Oh yeah, so then it came to the point that I said, man, I'm gonna put this book out. I want to put this book out because I still wasn't where I wanted to actually be, right? But then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like hearing, because I've been hearing crazy stories forever, so it wasn't a thing about let me put this book out and tell the real story, because regardless of what I tell, people are still going to take it. Who think I'm telling the truth? You know what I'm saying? You can say, oh, he lying. But the thing is, though, I got black and white that shows every single thing, from what it says about my mom, what it says about this, what it says about the connect telling on me. This is something I can't make up. I have proof. You know what I'm saying? So we having proof. It came to the point that I said, okay, I need a little something more. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to put my story out there. But at the same time, I hope it helps somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't just 100% saying, yo, I need to make some change, because at this point right now, I don't need to put the book out right now, actually. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like the more and more people always hit me straight and be like, yo, I can't wait for your book. I can't wait for your book. You know what I'm saying? So now the thing of that, I feel like I am the blueprint. I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm the blueprint. Now, I don't consider a person being the GOAT and all that for selling drugs. Like, that's the stupidest term I ever heard in my life. You a GOAT for selling drugs? Like, that's not, like, why? What is the trophy in that right
unless
there?
they never got caught. That's it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's just crazy to me.
Right.
But I look at it like this right here. Well, you know, 9 times out of 10, a person selling drugs and they never get caught, there's a reason why they ain't get caught. I'm gonna tell you that. 9 times out of 10.
Right.
So they just couldn't be good at it? They just couldn't be good at it?
That's real.
Huh?
They just couldn't be good at it?
No, ain't no such thing. Drugs sell itself, for one. Drugs sell itself. Like, if you got good drugs, people will come and get it. But the way I look at it, a person can't survive. So I'm not saying you can have one person, you know, probably escape. But that's too many people to trust. Who you getting it from and who you selling it to? Right. Like that's too many people. Like, already right there. But I'm saying that to say, like, with me putting the book out, it's like people want it now. You know, so I said I'm gonna go ahead and actually put it out. Hopefully, it helps somebody. You know, because the reason why I say I'm the blueprint for it, because you can actually learn from me on what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So you can
what not to do is not to be on the street. That's what's not to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So then tell me this, Geezy. Why was there some pushback with a certain person? If that's the case, if it's a straightforward what to do, what not to do, why was there that pushback with a certain person?
I'm just gonna say this.
Certain person.
I'm just gonna say this. You know, and just from, I'm not gonna say from a certain person. I'm gonna say from a lot of people.
Okay.
I know a lot. I know so much, and I know stuff that people would want to hear, but I remember stuff that people even probably think that I forgot about, or because you know what I mean. Like, I know stuff about. When I say a lot of people, I know stuff about a lot of people. So I can understand for some don't want the book to come out because they're thinking that I'm going to actually put something in there to expose them in any kind of way.
And you're not doing that.
No, I ain't doing that. Right. I ain't doing that. Because you understand, my story is about me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, like my story don't have nothing to do with like per se anybody else. Like for example, even when it comes to the Clipse, it's about what I did under the management role, or actually what I did. That don't
not necessarily about them.
It don't have nothing to do with Pusha. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't understand why per se them or wouldn't want the book to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about them. It's
and
about
just
me.
so folks know, 385 months, the sacrificial lamb, right?
84.
Am I right? At 384 months, the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
What you sacrificed?
That's the name of the book.
Title. That's the title. So what you
said? She said, "What did you sacrifice?"
I sacrificed my life.
That's what I'm about to say.
I just want to be clear. We gotta be clear.
Because the honest truth.
I just want to be clear.
Because the honest truth. Because the honest truth. Besides for my family, you got to understand this. A lot of people didn't go to jail. A lot of people didn't go to jail. Mm. A lot of people slept in their beds comfortably while I was doing my time. A lot of people.
That's what I wanted to say.
So it do make me mad. So it do make me mad and angry when they say, "Oh, you told on your friend, you told on the town." No, they didn't never come to prison. Nobody came to prison. Everybody was home. Everybody was in the club. Everybody was partying. I was the only one who was sitting there getting all the this and this and that. Me and my co-defendants. We were the only one who was in prison. Nobody else went to prison.
So
do I want to pat on the back? Do I want to pat on the back for that? Just like I just said, I look at it like that part was stand up. What did you get a stand up guy? What you get a stand up guy for that part?
Right. I got you.
So being the sacrificial lamb, do you have any regrets in that regard? Because again, you said you sacrificed your life, your family, your wife and your kids, and it was a question in the comments asking about how your family kind of handled everything and how that relationship was. Chanda asked that, how the girls are, and how your relationship is with them. But would there be any, being that you missed 8.5 years out of I'm coming to you as a father because I couldn't fathom missing 8 years out of my daughter and my son's life, right? Are there any regrets in that regard as far as you taking that time on your back and walking to that federal penitentiary and doing that time when, like you said, there were people who didn't get any time? Like, do you have any regrets? Because I know I'm gonna keep it a buck. I can't even do 8 hours in there. Like you take me away from these two kids and this wife that I got. I can't do it.
You're gonna fall all apart.
I don't want no parts of it. So I can just imagine. I don't want no kind of smoke with it. But do you feel any sort of regrets looking back?
The only regret, right? And just why I say is like this is dealing with my daughter. That's the only part that I feel about that. And but the only thing is I was selling drugs before I had kids. You know what I'm saying? So my only regret is once the music went sour, I should have took that money and went and got me a job.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I should have did.
Legit.
You know what I'm saying?
Get a job. Should have business. But you could have started business. What you're doing now then.
Exactly. But my mind wasn't on that. So that's the only regret that I have when it came to my whole life. But it wouldn't have made me though the man who I am now though. You understand what I'm saying? Like how I am, I'm seatbelt. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ride with everybody.
You drink like this.
10 and 2.
You already know. Like this is how I am. Like
you don't even run red lights no more.
So, what? Listen, slam on brakes hard. All right. You talking about red light? I don't run yellow light. Yellow light don't need to run. You can go.
You stop on green, I think it's about to change.
Just slow down just in case.
Scared. Yes. No, like, you know what I mean? This is how I am, but that's the only thing, man. Anything dealing with my family, man, and them girls, man, my 3 little daughters, man, that's the only thing that mattered to me in his life. Anything. It's only them.
Yeah. So when can we expect the book to drop, sir?
Well, you got to do your part because I don't know if all y'all know, but Showtime is doing the auto book for it.
Right.
So I'm using his voice.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well,
he heard that from me.
Green, you don't attend meetings, so
right.
You wouldn't know.
Green doesn't show up for meetings, so he doesn't know anything of what's really going on.
I've been stuttering since elementary, and I don't feel like it'll take forever to get through the book.
I think we're gonna have Mr. Talk of the Town on the book.
But I already, honest truth, I already have it. I got it, typed up and all that stuff on the computer and all that. Right now, I'm looking for somebody who can actually, because it's written in my terms, from a street straw. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, so I need somebody to transform it into like a real book form, and so I need that done, and I'm torn with the cover, because the cover that I got, which is a dope cover, is like, it looks urban to me, and I don't want that urban feel. So once I get them two, and then I'm putting it out. But I already started shooting little parts of the documentary, and all that. But hopefully I'm handing it out by, I say give it another month and a half.
Do you foresee the book turning into something that is, like you said, a documentary, like a TV series, a movie? I mean, we're in the Netflix age, the Hulu age, the Amazon Prime age. Is it something that you're going to actively be shopping around?
It's funny because I had some people actually contact me on that, but I can't really get into it because it is not done. You know what I mean? So it's just conversation. It's just conversations, at the end of the day. But how I was when I first put it out to how I am now, I'm like, the only reason I'm putting it out is just to put it out. But at first I was like, man, I need to give me a series. I need to get this. I can put it on different platform myself. But now, like I said, the only reason why I'm doing it now because people are still hitting me saying that they actually want it. So I'm definitely gonna do it. But I lost that whole drive at first when I first wanted to come on and actually do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm slowly, getting back into it. But like I said, I had a couple of real major people actually hit me and they want to get behind it or whatever.
Oh, that's what's up.
And they actually said though, because they watched the Vlad interview, because like I'm saying, the only reason why I did the Vlad interview was because he had 4 million, on his platform, and he pretty much reached out to me. Vlad been reaching out to me, but I didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to it, I actually hit him and was like, "Yo, you still trying to do it?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, come on." You know what I mean? So he was excited, but it was just so crazy on when it was put out. He put it out, and some of the stuff that he actually used as the clickbait, it really made some people feel like I was going at Pusha and all them. You know what I'm saying? But which that was never the case. I never ever in my life, I never ever said anything ill will towards Pusha, Malice, or anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that I actually say on there, it was just it's just my way of thinking and stuff that put me in the main stuff that happened back then. But I never said I can't say nothing bad about I can't say nothing bad about Push. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't say nothing bad about Malice.
Right.
They ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? They never did anything to me.
So
I can't say that.
So as we get close to wrapping it up, I wanna kind of tap dance on that a little bit, because I think it's important here on this platform that I say that I'm all about redemption, and not only just redeeming their story, but also redeeming relationships, right? And I'll say this publicly, but I think that the relationship between Soul Provider and the Clipse is a relationship that should be redeemed. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think y'all brothers have been through a lot. I think y'all have been through hell and back together. And life is short, man. Life is so short, man. And I would love nothing better for to come from the town, or to not even from the town, but to come out of this interview, out of this situation, somewhat of a reunion, a reconciliation, or something between Soul Provider and the Clipse. I honestly thought that I thought we were going to see a Clipse reunion on the music side last year. I was really holding my hope. And actually, no, I'll take it back. We did see a Clipse reunion on the Kanye album, maybe. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Green, maybe. Clipse did a record on Kanye's album?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did see a Clipse
in 2019.
We did see a Clipse reunion musically, kind of, sort of. I'm still holding out hope for that. But I would like nothing better to come from this, especially hearing your story, Geezy, and knowing you and knowing Terrence and knowing Gene and knowing where all of y'all come from. I would like nothing more than to see I just don't,
just like I said, I can never be mad with them. I just don't like some of the stuff that just transpired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that really got me. Go ahead, Green.
He never explained that they did fall out, so like we probably need to do that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know that they fell out, but the people definitely don't know. You know what I'm saying? You never said you fell out with them.
Well, I haven't. Like for instance, like even when it comes to Malice, like me and Malice talk all the way up until the situation with the book, because Malice was supposed to help me put the book out. So, once I was ready to put the book out and Push was telling me that I shouldn't put it out, but his reasoning for me not wanting to put it out, for him, he was like, my kids and them don't need to revisit that whole situation from my past.
He's talking about since you've been home, correct? Since you've been home, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, since I've been home. But the whole time I was in prison, me and Malice was talking, and Malice said he was going to actually help me put the book out because Malice had a book come out. So then fast forward when I was going to put it out, and P said that he didn't want the book to come out, that he don't think that the book should come out. His reasoning for it was to say that he felt that I should just let that be, right? But I'm looking at it like, I understand you saying that, but this is what you have to understand. I'm still living that from way then. So no matter if I talk about it now or if I don't talk about it, I'm still living it. So why not put the book out? So if that's the reason not to put it out, because you don't want my kids and all of them to relive it, my kids relive it every single day. Because my kids are on social media and all that, so they hear somebody calling their daddy this or calling their daddy that and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So we got to live it. You know what I'm saying? So why not put it out? You understand what I'm saying? So from that day forward, after then, it was a thing of, I didn't really talk to neither. And I pretty much I messed the relationship up with Malice. I just took it upon him not want to go along with doing it anymore because of his brother didn't want it. So I got mad at that situation because I know you're supposed to side with your brother. You know what I'm saying? So it was me.
Yeah, you got to understand that part. You got to understand that.
Yeah, I do. But I got in my bag when it came to that because I'm saying like, yo, like, dang, you said you're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So I got in my bag with that. But at the same time, I'm sitting there like, yo, if I can get me a bag, let me get me a bag. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else got bags, let me get me a bag. Because I got to go and I got to fend for myself and get a bag. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all can talk about it, and not saying that they rapping talking about my life, but if y'all can talk about the drugs and all that, let me tell the story of the drugs and stuff. Let me eat. Help me out. Or let's come together and figure it out and put some out. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say, no, don't put it out. You know what I'm saying? So then with that being said, come fast forward, it was a couple of rumors that hold on, excuse me. Hey, Shayna, come here real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to get her to answer this phone because I had a guy doing some work to my truck. Shayna, come here.
You're gonna go stop the live interview.
No, this is the real, the raw, and the rap. This is how we do it. The real, the raw, and the rap.
I thought Shayna was about to have some proof and some evidence. I thought you were putting some receipts. Shayna, bring the receipts.
This is the part of the book that he was talking about. There's nothing in here. This right here.
That's business. He's done. Okay, but tell him he can come here and get his money if he wants. Okay, so listen. So my whole thing is though. So what ended up really happening was, it was so-called said it was 3 different people who basically told Pusha that I was ungrateful for the money that he gave me.
You said that's the word that came to you from 3 different people. Yeah,
well, actually, one person who's like right beside Pusha told me the reason why Pusha was so called mad with me. But I look at it like I don't care what. If we brothers, say if I was ungrateful for the money, which I'm not. I mean, because I don't have a ungrateful bone in my body. You know what I'm saying? I'm real appreciative. But say if I was, that's a conversation. That's a conversation to say, yo, bro, like, you're grateful, da-da-da. And I'd be like, man, come on, man, no, da-da-da, this and that. And then we get over it. Not no,
right.
Oh, you ungrateful, ain't messing with you. You know what I mean? Because I can name a whole bunch of stuff that happened with people around us who was ungrateful for things. But you're still cool with them. So I don't understand what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about the money that he gave you once you got home. He gave you some money to like help get you back on your feet.
Yes. So they saying that, the people is saying that it wasn't enough. And people didn't even know how much it was. I don't care if it was $10,000, if it was $20,000. Like, I'm grateful for that. But I will tell you how society looks at things. He's a millionaire. I'm still working. I'm driving the truck every day in the whole nine. He couldn't have gave him enough money. I'm not saying that, but even if he did give me a whole lot of money, I probably still would have been driving, doing my business. You know what I'm saying? So,
did you and T ever talk about this? Did you and T ever talk about this? But that's a problem right there. Y'all should have a conversation about this.
That's the problem right there.
One of them.
But that's why I'm saying.
But what
I'm saying, that's why I said it has to be something else, because I don't understand if that was the only thing, why we haven't had that conversation.
That's about to say, but do you even know if it's true if y'all never spoke?
Yeah, I definitely know it's true.
I'm pretty sure whoever said that to you, they're credible. But I'm just saying, you and T never talked about this at all.
Never talked about it at all.
That's crazy.
That's a problem.
That's crazy.
Y'all can't do that without at least talking.
And the three people that actually told him, I don't even deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's what I'm saying. But you wrong for that too. You should have reached out to him too.
I did.
He just didn't pick up.
No, I'm not wrong.
He ain't picking the phone. He ain't picking the phone.
Yeah, he ain't picking the phone. I reached out to everybody around him, like, yo, we need to have this conversation, da da da. But everybody got an excuse. Oh man, you know how he is, and holding out this. I'm like, no,
but at least you reached out.
Okay. You reached out. That's different.
But then I stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because now it became a point of that made me bitter and mad. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, so you really want to go there and like for everything that we had in the whole nine to just be like, no, I don't care what you think. Just F you. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, oh wow, okay. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no beef. It ain't got no beef. Like we see each other, yo, what's up? Da da da. No, I just know now on what it is. You don't want that conversation. So now it's like, all right, if we actually do that, you know what I'm saying?
The thing is whatever message was delivered could have been. They could have delivered the message with like malicious. I don't know anything who delivered the message, but that message could have been delivered with like ill intent for it to affect y'all the way it did. You see what I'm saying? Like this is something I don't know at all. By the way, I don't know, but for him to not answer the phone, you know what I'm saying? They might have added something to that you don't even know.
But that's what he said. He tried to clear it up, and he wasn't able to because he wouldn't respond.
Right. So T is wrong for not answering the phone, or at least texting nigga back something. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Go ahead, Tony.
No, but you have to understand this. Like, regardless of me being gone for 8 years, I know him. You know what I mean? I know him. You know what I mean? And he always been like the same. He like T got that complex of saying the same way how I am. Nigga, I don't need you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I look at it like that must be a thing of that it must have been business than more so really friends. Because
that's why you say the people that like your friends and family that your day ones are there now. It's your music people that seem to have straight away.
Yeah. And understand this, I got friends in them, like right now, who I talk to and all that, they really let me have it. they let me have it because they on some stuff like, I'm just being real. They on some stuff like, man, I told you, you know what I'm saying? You gonna leave the hood and you know what I'm saying, and go ahead and mess with them dudes. I already knew that was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying like, I can't say nothing because before I'm like, nah, man, I rock with these niggas. You know what I mean? So now they're on some, man, see, you left us, but we still gonna take you back because you know what I'm saying? So, and the honest truth, I'm on some real humble stuff because I'm like, man, you know, I'm sorry, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for getting blinded and not even thinking about y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I did have some, you know, like real people who I don't even show on social media. I don't do none of that. But they like been with me forever. Even when I was in prison, calling my family, they don't ask what they want. They just give it to them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, yo, you need something. No, it's here. You know what I'm saying? They like been with me forever, you know, like, and I'm still with them till this day, you know. So, you know, it was like a whole wake up call on to really say who really was your friends. You know what I mean? Because if he can do that right there, then that just says a lot. You know what I mean? But like I said, he might got other reasons though. I don't know.
Well, I'm really hoping that it's a case of miscommunication or lack of communication, and really hoping that at some point.
But you gotta understand this too, Showtime though. Showtime, you gotta understand this too though. We can be still cool and cordial, or whatever, but it's like people go in different directions. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't choose what my circle is. My circle. You know what I'm saying? I always been about my family, so I basically hang with my family. I hang with my cousin. You know what I mean? I hang with my sister. I hang with my childhood friend. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to even be in like in that same circle that I used to actually be in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not good for me. But far should we have a cool bond enough to be like, yo, what's up? To talk, yeah, man, how everything going with you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely should be like that. You know what I mean? Because still, at the end of the day, I the one who sacrificed myself. People anybody go to jail, anybody go to prison.
So, anybody else got any questions before we wrap up? I got one last question, but RG Green.
Go ahead.
So Geezy, I want to ask this as we wrap up, and then we'll give you the opportunity to shout yourself out and all that stuff. After being the sacrificial lamb, after the 384 months, after being Mr. Soul Provider, after being the father to your children, the husband to your wife, and all of these things, when it's all said and done, the pages are finally written and the book closes. What is the legacy of Anthony Geezy Gonzalez going to look like?
I'm just a man in a truck.
No, don't do that. No, sir. Let's try that again.
He was about to go deep. He was ready.
Right. I'm thinking he gonna really hit me with something. No, sir.
That's what's gonna be on the tombstone, man.
Just a man in a truck. One man in a truck. No, sir.
Right? Yeah, one man in a truck.
Man, the honest truth, man. Like, I'm just being real, man. Like, I ain't doing this for that. You know what I mean? I want my kids to like write my legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what nobody else think about my legacy, what it should be, and all this and all that. I just want to just live, man. I want to enjoy life, man. I just want to just, my mind frame on what I always say is I'm just trying to make money for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always the thing that me and Pusha used to always say. That's what's so crazy. It's the thing that we used to always say. And not literally. But I want to make so much money that my kids, they can just, if they want to just use drugs all day long and still be rich.
What? Wrong analogy. Wait.
I understand.
What? Let's think another analogy. No, sir.
That's just how much money that no, because it's so crazy that you have like
the man out the street. You can't take the man.
But no, what did you just say, Geezy? That's
I don't
true.
want my kids.
You said about the original.
I don't want my kids to do drugs.
Right. I got you.
But that's what kind of money. That's what kind of money that I want. If they was to choose to do that, with
if they choose to do drugs,
what I'm saying. That's how much money. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they're not. Like I say, even with my daughters, they all so independent. They like wear many hats. You know what I'm saying? They got 2 jobs doing hair that they like me times 10. You know what I mean? Like they are me all the way when it comes to that right there, you know, and their mother. But like I'm just using an example of how much money. It ain't really about the drugs. You know what I'm saying? But if they was to choose to do drugs, they ain't have to work. You know what I mean? Just go to the beach and just use your drugs. You know what I mean? But you know, but I don't care. Like I'm not trying to even write no. I'm not even trying to like me personally write no legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So at the end of the day, I think that's what all of us as men are striving to do, especially those of us who have children. We want to be sure that our legacy is like you said, is written by the generations that come after us, not by us, but by the things that we leave for them. And I think a lot of times we can leave wisdom, we can leave, you know, financial things and things, but I think the impressions that we leave on them while we're here are the things that they're going to take with them once we're long gone. And I'm saying that as somebody with a 16-year-old and a 2-year-old. Jeezy got 3 girls. Green got 3 boys. 3 boys, right? That's what I said. I thought.
Keep them away from my daughters, boy.
all the way.
I don't have any children, but my parents have left legacy and generational wealth for me, so I get it.
Well, we're not even going to talk about the 5 lake houses that your parents and the and the lakefront property. But dope, Jeezy, we thank you for coming through, man. Tell people how they can follow you. Tell them how they can get at you, all your social media, and all of that good stuff, man.
Hey, but real quick though, before I sign off, I want to touch on something though, and this is for something that happened on with Vlad TV when I did the Vlad interview. Because a lot of people got mad when he made it seem like I made this comment. He had made it seem like I said that all the Clipse rhymes of selling drugs and stuff was all about me. They said 95% of their rhymes was about my life. I wanted just to clear that up real quick. You know, when I said that, it was about the first album. And the reason why I said the first album and I said to that magnitude of the 95%, it was plenty of people who was selling drugs around all of us. But it was the point of when you're the connect and you're like even from the grinding video, they didn't have a lot of stuff that the label was actually paying for, you know, even when it came to that. And I actually came out of my pocket for my street money on going to get the 2 cars that was in the video, paying for the wardrobe, paying for the dressing rooms and all that. So it was a lot of stuff that I was doing when that first album actually came out. And I was saying that to the point of with me doing all them things and me being the one in that situation who's supplying everybody. That's why I looked at like when I said 95% of the rhymes and stuff far as when it came to the drug dealing and all that was about me. Because Shampoo wasn't even alive. You know what I'm saying? Like it was me. So when I made that comment, I was definitely talking about, like I said, the first album. I say that then and I say that now. I'm not talking about the second album, the third album. You know what I mean? People can say what they want to say and say, oh, they was in the whole 9. If you're going to say that, you're going to say that, cool. But I was talking about that first initial album.
He made it seem like 95% of all of his rhymes are about you. That's how it was presented.
Yeah, that's how it was presented. But I was basically saying, though, like I'm saying, though, that the whole like far as of what went on and all that, you know what I'm saying? It was more so like with him being around me and me not saying what he was doing. Because like I said, I never get into saying if he sold drugs or didn't sell drugs. Like people in Virginia know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I was more so saying if I'm the connect and you seeing a lot of drugs and all that, that's where a lot of the content is coming from. You understand what I'm saying? And the certain things that I was actually doing. So when I said that, I was talking about the first album. I wasn't talking about all their rhymes. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was just portrayed.
I
just wanted this to clear that
Do you
up.
think the Vlad interview hurt you more than it helped you?
Definitely not. It it only, I'm gonna say hurt me. It only made people around, I want to say, like certain people around the 757, which I heard certain stuff and all that with actually what I just said. They just had that to just say on that part. It wasn't anything else. You know what I'm saying? But how could his platform have, with 4 million people, hurt me in any kind of way? You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm saying,
it can't.
Is, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't understand. Places I go right now, see, because you understand, even though people knew who the Clipse manager was and all this now, but now they're putting a face with it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been plenty of places, you know, I'm talking outside of Virginia, where like I go to the auction the other week, and it was this guy in the auction. He's processing the paperwork on the car that I'm picking up, you know, so he said, "Man, is you Instagram famous?" I said, "No, I ain't Instagram famous. No." He said, "Man, I seen you somewhere before, man." So now he's looking at my ID and all this and all that, and he's sitting there, but I'm sitting there like, I ain't gonna tell him nothing. And he said, "Man, I just watched you on the Vlad interview. Oh man, this and that." You know what I mean? So now people are putting the face with that. You know what I mean? But I can tell you so many stories that actually happen like that. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't that I'm looking for that. But when my book comes out, I want them to actually go get the book. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you what, they ain't gonna recognize you from this show right here. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You ain't gotta worry about them saying
about that. Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they will. I promise you that.
In Virginia,
Look, one thing about it, right? We all be able to round this because I already know anything that y'all touching is gonna go. You know what I mean? So be patient. Y'all be able to you know what I mean? Just like Emery said, when I ready to put the book out, bring me back. You know what I mean? Because all y'all gonna do is grow from here.
Yeah. So you froze up a little bit. There you go. So Geezy, tell them how they can follow you. Tell them how they can get at you. Tell them how they can get their hands on the book when it drops and all of that good stuff.
Man, I don't know all that.
Nigga, you know your Instagram.
Really?
Hey, look,
your PR.
On the Vlad thing, I wrote a hit and put it up there. But at Tony G757 Instagram, Tone Gonzalez Facebook, and you can get the book probably about the next month and a half, 2 months at the most. And just be on all platforms, you know, Amazon, everywhere. You know, I'm actually going, even though through social media I'm gonna promote, but I'm also gonna buy a billboard around here somewhere and actually put the what's coming up on the billboard.
Somewhere in North Carolina or Virginia?
No, Virginia.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. All right.
Dope.
Drop the name of the book for us one more time, one more again, so the folks know.
384 months, the sacrificial lamb.
384 months, sacrificial lamb. Anthony Geezy Gonzalez, soul provider. Thank you for joining us. A long-time supporter and long-time friend of the show. Even back when we were doing radio, you always showed love. You always checked in. We were doing the morning show back in the day. So just salute to you, good brother. Appreciate you checking in. Appreciate you clearing the air on all of those things. And you got an open invitation to come back to this platform whenever you want to, sir.
All right. I'm going to show y'all this. Right before you go, I'm going to show you this picture of the book cover real quick. I'm just going to give y'all a sneak peek of it.
It's an exclusive.
I'm going to change it.
Exclusive.
But I want y'all to tell me.
This is what you're going with. You ain't changing it, right?
No, I might change it because it looks too urban for me.
We don't need to see it.
I might change it.
Come on, let us see it.
No, I might keep it though.
Okay.
Like I'm
We can give our opinions. Come on.
And this is the Norfolk. This is the Norfolk FBI building or the what you call it?
The federal building.
The federal building.
Yeah.
Hold still. Oh,
right.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do know I see what you mean when you say urban.
It is a little urban.
I do get
like club
Like
flyer, almost club flyer.
No limit.
Or
no
like
limit
an urban
feel.
fiction type book, like bring us back to like the coldest winter ever days or something.
Right.
Geezy, change that shit, B. Change that shit.
See, we were all tiptoeing around it, but
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
We were trying to be nice with it.
Get rid of that shit.
I didn't want to put you out like that.
But you look at it.
I'm looking at
No, listen, I'm the same way. That's why I'm like, nah.
It is urban.
Really, you know what I mean?
But I was going to send you away with it.
He was going to let it rock. I'm going to keep it real. He probably was going to snap.
But I feel the same way though. I feel the same way, but that's why I'm showing you because I'm definitely changing.
Make us think we got some. Like we got an exclusive.
Matter of fact, who delivered? Who gave you that, yo? That was a setup.
Damn, it was that bad, Green.
Right,
like it was not that horrible. Like
they trying to set you up, dog.
It gave me club flyer, but it wasn't that horrible.
That was a setup.
That was crazy.
I like the concept, though, G.
I saw what they were. We get where they were going with it.
It's a good first draft,
right? Yeah. Put a whole bunch of red marks on it.
But listen though, out of 5 people who I showed it to, all of them said, "Man, get rid of that trash."
Well, we confirmed it. We just confirmed it.
You still got show me number, show me Charlie. They'll hook you up.
Right.
Call them, dog.
Call the Elusive Media guys. All right, man.
Right.
So follow Geezy at TonyG757 on IG. We're gonna go ahead and take ourselves out of here. We're gonna wrap this thing up. RG, what you got, girl?
Rich Girl, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and click it because you're already there. If not, search for us, Talk of the Town, Unfiltered. Follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Follow me, VA Rich Girl.
All right, DJ Green, what up, though?
Follow me at I am DJ Green on all social media platforms. That's it. Rock out.
No, if you have step, you have result. Right. None of that.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Oh, yeah, it's still your birthday week, so you're doing a whole lot of half stepping. So,
right, yeah,
you're doing plenty of half stepping this week. And Queen D. Marie, what's shaking, bacon?
Until next time, y'all, be light, live light, and give light.
That's something new. Oh, okay. Be light, give light, and love light. Okay.
Live light.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see y'all on the flip side next Thursday. Meet us right here. Facebook, I say it, be thankful for what you have as always. Someone with less tomorrow, never promise. So today, let's all consider ourselves blessed. Jeezy, thank you, sir. Holla at us. Peace.
Peace.